Okay, I think I'm live. Hello, friends. Little live stream. React to some content. Vegan FTA here. Our friend Vegan Gaze. Let's check this out. 5 reasons dairy is not cool. Dairy is not cool. If you didn't know. Let's find out why, though. There's 5 reasons.
Now, you may think there are no ethical ramifications when you drink a glass of milk, but unfortunately for the cow, there are many, many things that are wrong with dairy. So here's 5 reasons why dairy is not cool. So as we said, there are many reasons that dairy is actually very unethical, but we'll quickly go through 5 of them today. Number 1, cows are constantly pregnant for our convenience. Contrary to what we may have believed, especially as children, cows don't magically produce milk. Like us, they are mammals, so they need to be pregnant as much as possible so that they keep producing milk. So that means that they are typically artificially inseminated. That involves other practices that we won't go through in this video because yes, there are so many things wrong with dairy. So a mother cow is typically artificially inseminated. She will then have a baby and her baby will be taken away from her. This process is almost immediate. This has terrible, distressing ramifications for both mother and baby. But imagine being forcibly impregnated your entire life, having all the babies you have taken away from you, and then being killed when you are no longer of use. Number 2, calves are torn away from their mothers. So we already touched upon that in the previous one, but yes, calves are taken away from their mothers. This happens sometimes within hours, or it can happen over the course of a couple of days. This has consequences of severe distress for the mother. There is literature on the psychology of cows.
What's up, Alicia? How are you doing today? Thanks for the brief pop in. I appreciate that.
What it means to the mother cow to have their baby torn away from them. If that time is extended, it can be even more distressing. But yeah, imagine having your baby taken away from you. Isn't that just so messed up? And this is routine in the dairy industry. Number 3, a short fate for the males. So male calves can't produce milk, so they are useless to the dairy industry. If you've heard of something called veal, that is a baby cow. Some of them are just killed and considered waste products. But does that sit right with you knowing that? Maybe this is the first time you've heard it, but do you think dairy is cool when it means this for literal babies? Number 4, the cows are overworked. Most of the dairy cows are going to be, by proxy of just how many there are going to be destined to live on factory farms. So they'll be in cramped up spaces, they'll be hooked up to milking machines, and they're forced to produce milk constantly. Naturally, they wouldn't produce that much milk either. We've engaged in selective breeding so that they overproduce. So this can be quite painful for them. It can lead to a lot of swelling. Things like laminitis can appear. Many suffer from lameness, infections, and
Alicia, last week, me and Jeffrey had the exact same videos. That's funny. Well, it's, because there's not a ton of content the last week, so I'm kind of not surprised about that. What's up, Kane? How are you? Thanks for being out there at the slaughterhouse that one day. That was fantastic work.
Exhaustion. And this is also what we can have milk and cheese. Oh, not even that, because there's vegan milk and cheese. So what's it really for? The 5th and final reason we'll go through today on why dairy isn't cool is because the dairy industry is built on exploitation and not compassion. Let's be very clear. The dairy industry is about profits. It's not about animals. If it were about animals, these animals wouldn't be in this position in the first place. If it were about animals and their best interests, there wouldn't be an industry like this to begin with. Even if you buy humane or grass-fed milk, pasture-raised, all of these labels that are applied to these milk bottles to make them seem more enticing, these animals were still exploited. Fundamentally, other animals deserve respect, And the dairy industry is anything but respectful. We don't want to see animals as commodities. We don't want to see them as things to use. We don't want to see their secretions as things we can make a profit from. That's why, if you haven't already, it would be time to ditch dairy. But those are 5 reasons dairy isn't cool. There are other reasons, of course, but here is a compact video just quickly explaining some of the reasons you shouldn't be drinking dairy. Thank you so much for watching. If you have another reason, let it be known down below in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to go vegan for the animals, because they are who it means everything to.
Great job, Vegan Gays. L of Vegan Gays fame. Such a salad, right? Yeah, you can make it so quick. Oops, hang on. There's that video. Go show Vegan FTA some love. That is who Elle works for. And Elle obviously has her own channel as well, which we've reacted to many times. Speaking of milk, oh, dang it. Can't read the story because I don't have a Vox membership. In any case, I was going to show y'all this story that Vox put out. I've been getting paywalled when I try to read Vox lately, which is frustrating. Vox is definitely worth a membership. My concern, though, is just that people aren't seeing the stories that they normally see because people just aren't really used to or willing to pay for news that they could find for free. Well, anyway, the headline was, let me back up. Depressing. Americans are drinking more cow's milk. Here's why that's a problem. I will link to that story anyway. I think because I read so much Vox, I get paywalled more than others. But anyway, here's that story. If you want to get a little bit depressed, because I know that you guys come here for the depression. Alicia, I have my cashews soaking for vegan milk in the morning with oats. Yum. And you can make your own milk so quickly at home. Indeed, you can. And if you're like me and you're a little bit lazier, you can easily go and get plant-based milk at any grocery store. And if price is a problem, there's also something called water that you can drink. All right. Saw this today. Don't know much about this campaign, but Animal Equality released a groundbreaking undercover investigation from inside a pig breeding facility in Kansas into whatever that is pronounced. The parent company of Stop and Shop giant and Food Lion. Ahold Delhaize? I'm not sure. Let's take a look here. I'm not going to play that investigation, but I'll link to it.
Shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Today, we are here in the Netherlands to protest outside the annual shareholders meeting of Ahold Delhaize. We also brought the images of our last investigations that we filmed inside a farm in the United States. This farm is linked to Ahold Delhaize. Our message is clear. Silence is not an option. It's time for Ahold Delhaize to take a stand against this cruelty and do what's right. Ahold Delhaize, shame on you! They need to eliminate cages for mother pigs and hens in the United States. It's time to say stop to this cruelty. Ahold Delhaize, shame on you! Shame on you for what you do! Ahold Delhaize, shame on you!
All right, Animal Equality. Here's a link to that video, and let me find their investigation. So I can link to that as well. Animal equality.
Bars. Dead piglets rotting at their mother's feet.
Yeah. Christspiracy. Cam Waters doing some street activism. Check this out. Christspiracy.
Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian, by the way, Eric?
I am.
Okay. Does that bull exactly? And they're worshiping what?
Oh yeah, the golden bull. Exactly.
And now here we all are, standing around, gathering around this golden bull, which represents abundance, wealth, fertility. Hey, this is Cam from Christspiracy in NYC at Wall Street and the Stock Exchange to talk about what this really stands for. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the word capital means?
Do I know what the word capital means?
What the etymology of the term capital is, meaning where the root of the word capital comes from.
As in money. So
There's an etymological root to the word capital. Can you guess what it is?
I cannot. Educate me.
I believe it comes from Latin, but I'm really not sure about the origin. I don't know the etymology, but I think that's a Latin word.
Exactly.
Maybe from caput, I don't know, maybe head.
Head, exactly. Good job. Yeah. So cap, as in the head of cattle, actually. It represents head of cattle. The etymology is head of cattle because herding cultures that established wealth, their value was established on the head of the animals that they subjugated. So another word, have you ever heard of pecuniary? Pecuniary interest.
I have not.
It's a term for money.
Pecunia means like, oh, you are the flock of something.
Yes, flock, like flocks of animals.
Okay. So we're talking agricultural stuff.
Exactly. And then we're here, Wall Street's close by. Where are we right now? The New York what?
Stock exchange.
The New York Stock Exchange. Live stock, right? Okay. What if I told you that the entire financial system that we have today is built off of the backs of the enslavement of animals? Herding cultures measured their wealth in terms of heads in ancient times. The first form of wealth was livestock.
Absolutely. I understand that. Yes.
Yeah. And now still to this day, most people don't know it, but our entire economy is built on the backs of the heads of animals, of livestock. That livestock turns into a whole system of monetary exchange, also built on the temple animal sacrificial ritual. And did you know, are you a Christian, by the way, Eric?
I am.
Okay. Does that bull exactly. You know the story of Moses, huh? From the Bible.
Yes.
Those who will not live by the law shall die by the law.
And they're worshiping what?
Oh yeah, the golden bull.
Exactly. And now here we all are, standing around, gathering around this golden bull, which represents abundance, wealth, fertility.
Merrill Lynch.
And everyone here is grasping the genitals of the bull, and it's kind of a good luck
That's weird. Is that like a thing that people do? They always take photos grabbing the balls of the bull?
charm for
I guess so.
abundance. Same type of thing, right? Well, the irony is that if you aren't aware, in order to make livestock so that we can make money off of them, we have to, as humans, forcibly impregnate cows, meaning that we have to masturbate bulls to be able to get their semen to put it inside.
It's a great location to do this. What's up, Jedi? Humans are weird. I agree, Alicia. I'm trying to not turn full misanthrope, but it's difficult sometimes.
other cows to make more and more livestock, right? So it's quite ironic when standing in front of this, right? It's like a large portion of our subsidies in, say, America, you know, subsidies, the amount of tax dollars that go towards something, 80% globally, billions of dollars of subsidies goes to animal agriculture to the millions of dollars that goes to plant agriculture. In fact, there's up to 1,000 times more subsidies that go to animal livestock than plant livestock. Does that sound like balanced and efficient to you guys?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like so.
Well, I'll put it this way. If we remove the subsidies and the externalized costs from, say, a McDonald's hamburger, 7 of those dollars are externalized costs, meaning that we, the taxpayer, are paying for those costs of the hamburger. So a McDonald's hamburger that costs around $13 to $15 should really be more like $5. So we're all collectively paying for everyone's McDonald's hamburgers. And then the last thing is, are you familiar at all with the story of Jesus, the historical story where he goes in and he flips the tables of the money changers in the temple? Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's called the Temple Cleanse. So I have a film called Christspiracy that is looking at the pivotal moment in the historical Jesus story where he overturns the tables, the money changers' tables. Do you know why he was flipping the tables? Back then, the temple was like the stock exchange. The temple was where all the exchanging of all the money and it was the market, right? But do you know at the temple exchange in Jerusalem what that money was for? What were they selling?
What were they selling? They were selling
I believe animals of different kinds.
animals,
Exactly.
birds, doves, things to be used for sacrifice.
Animals for sacrifice. And what did Jesus do with those birds and doves and oxen?
Well, Scripture doesn't say what he did with them, but he turned the tables over and he ransacked their business.
Well, what if I told you that in the Gospel of John, it says that he actually breaks the cages of the doves and lets the oxen and sheep free?
I would ask you where in the Gospel of John.
He goes in and it says in the scripture that he frees the animals and sends them out and says, my Father's house is meant to be a house of prayer for all nations, or even all creatures, depending on how you translate the Greek. But he says, you made it a den of thieves. And in our new documentary, in Christspiracy, and it talks about that one act that Jesus did where he turned the tables and freed the animals, and how it's connected back to our monetary system and subjugation and oppression of animals, people, slaves. It's the advent of war. Everything comes down to our herding and, like I said, human manipulation of animal species.
I'm going to follow up on that.
Yes, trying to find out how many people are aware of what this potentially could represent.
The idol. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All right, brother. Take care. Yes. God bless you. Yeah. Take care. So I'm here at the end of Wall Street, as you can see, and just below the sign, halal food is being sold. And then right at the end of the intersection here at Wall Street is a church. And then just below the church, if you look, there's euros being sold with lamb, chicken, and beef. It doesn't get any more Christspiracy than that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a right way to kill a beast? Justified imagery of blood on the streets.
Sorry guys, I didn't have much to react to, but just because I was learning myself. Cam is a great speaker. Never seen that before, Kane. If animal sale disappeared, how much impact would it have? I don't know. Good question. Good question, Alicia. There's that video. Please show Christspiracy YouTube channel some love. You know, go and heart that video. Thank Cam for his great work. And then, of course, go to Christspiracy.com if you haven't watched that film. It's free. You can just go and watch it. It's right here. Great film, by the way. Great film to show people also. Yeah, like I've been able to show that to family and people, and everybody seems to enjoy the film and get a lot out of it. What's up, Jeffrey? Ali and I in the car going to a bike race we were doing in Monterey. Nice. Nice. Go win that race, Jeffrey. You guys win it. Staying fit, eh? I played dodgeball the other day and my whole body is hurting. We won. Bunch of vegans, or at least a couple vegans on our team. That was fun. I was a last minute addition. They called me up. They said, some people are not here. Can you fill in? I said, yeah, I'll play some dodgeball. That was a lot of fun. It ended because of the strength of this vegan arm, guys. There was one guy left, right? 3 of us, I think. I think we had 3 on our side. They had one guy left. It was the last game. We had won. Threw the ball, dodged it very quickly, scooped it up, got a running start. The guy was backing up. He saw me, and with this vegan arm, he almost caught it. Now, he almost caught it for a second. My heart skipped a beat, but it wobbled in his arms. He dropped it, and we won. The hero. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I did in the game, but that was like one of like 15 matches or something like that we played. God, it was so much fun though. What's up, Sally? Nice to see you. Are y'all impressed? Why is nobody said in the chat, wow, Jeremy, where's the adoration? Nobody's saying like, wow, that's amazing, Jeremy. You dominated the dodgeball. If y'all aren't subbed to Jeffrey's channel, please do. Jeffrey Phillips. Also, Kane Defends Animals. Oh, thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Go and sub to Kane Defends Animals as well. And I'm not sure, like, if y'all have some channels too, please feel free to shout out your own channel if you have one. Thank you, Alicia. I thought it was amazing too. I mean, I may be sore today because I was working hard. They were like, can you come back next week? I was like, I'll think about it. What do I have lined up here? All right. Got Wayne. The greatest turnaround in animal rights history. Hang on. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was fun. There we go. All right. This is going to be about the Richland Beagles, I believe. Haven't watched it yet. Let's check it out.
I was facing 16 years in 1 year ago. I was facing 16 years in prison for rescuing a blind beagle puppy from Ridgeland Farms, one of the nation's largest beagle experimentation facilities. Today, we are on the brink of turning the tables on the industry, bringing felony charges against Ridgeland and rescuing thousands of beagles from a lifetime in a 2-foot by 4-foot cage. But what's at stake is more than saving the animals at Ridgeland. It's an engine of change that could go infinite and save billions more. That engine is called scalable change. And it's what happens when we create feedback loops that transform seemingly small actions into massive system-wide impacts. In the right conditions, the momentum becomes so powerful that change that once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is what happened at Ridgeland. Our small and risky action, rescuing a beagle from a cage, triggered an avalanche of media and activism. As a result, in less than 1 year, the system went from trying to put us in prison for rescuing dogs to joining our efforts to save them. It's probably the greatest turnaround story in animal rights history, and it shows the power of scalable change. How does scalable change work? There are 2 factors that must be present. The first is the existence of feedback loops. When change on day one feeds into more change on day two, that creates a feedback loop that can be harnessed to supercharge our efforts. Most of us observe feedback loops in our everyday lives. For example, a whisper into a microphone like this one, too closely positioned next to a speaker, can build into an ear-splitting screech as the whisper bounces from speaker to mic and then back to the speaker again. Most forms of institutional change exhibit feedback loops of this sort. One university's plant-based pledge paves the way for others. But feedback loops are particularly relevant in efforts at legal change. Indeed, in some cases, a victory in court on day one literally requires a victory on day two due to a doctrine of law called stare decisis. The second factor in scalable change is exponential growth. In some contexts, each additional unit of effort leads to more than a unit of change. That is, they're increasing marginal returns to effort. A whisper can only become an ear-splitting screech if the speaker amplifies the whisper beyond its initial volume. And once again, institutional and legal change often exhibits this same exponential growth. When we passed a fur ban in San Francisco, for example, in 2018, it was a crucial victory that increased the odds that the fur ban would scale to California as a whole. I estimated at the time that fur would be banned in the entire state by 2025, and many people laughed at my prediction. However, when Los Angeles unexpectedly followed San Francisco in banning fur within a year of the SF ban, that accelerated the timeline considerably. I quickly whipped together a proposal in January of 2019 to shift the entire organization.
Good video, yes. For the animals, indeed. Indeed, Sally. Indeed.
Behind an effort to ban fur in California. And we succeeded in a historic vote later that year, 6 years ahead of schedule. This is an example of exponential growth. The first effort, the SF fur ban, made winning in California possible. But the next effort, the LA fur ban, made winning in California inevitable. Each additional unit of effort, like a speaker amplifying the volume of a whisper, was more powerful than the last. It's crucial for advocates to understand if they're part of an engine for scalable change. When problems are as large as animal exploitation, involving tens of billions of victims spread across the globe, the size of the solution has to meet the size of the problem. Anything smaller than scalable change misses out on the largest opportunities for impact. More important, however, is that scalable change solves one of the fundamental bottlenecks in social movements: countervailing influence. For every incremental effort we make, there's a reaction by the system that threatens to reverse progress. For example, we may persuade one person to become vegan, only to see two other vegans revert back to their former lifestyles. Scalable change can solve this problem by creating momentum that overwhelms countervailing influence. Indeed, in large and complex systems with many sources of countervailing influence, scalable change may be the only way to create any change at all. But that brings us to the most important question. How do you know if you're working with scalable change? The Ridgeland case offers some lessons. The first lesson is that scalable change generally has an action, attention, feedback loop. Our actions on day one need to be able to seize attention. And that attention needs to be of the sort that triggers more action on day two. In the Ridgeland case, the initial rescue and prosecution led to massive attention, including a number of viral videos. That attention inspired action, including protest marches and, crucially, a petition for a special prosecutor joined by two local groups, Dane for Dogs and Alliance for Animals. That petition, in turn, inspired a new round of attention, from prestigious scientific journals to an avalanche of local media outlets.
Chung visited Ridgeland in 2017, rescuing 3 beagles at that time.
And it all culminated in a decision by a court earlier this year to appoint a special prosecutor to pursue felony charges against Ridgeland Farms. Legal efforts are particularly well suited for harnessing an action-attention feedback loop because legal battles are inherently attention-grabbing, and because courts on day two are required to pay attention to results on day one.
The law protects all of us, not just the powerful, not just the wealthy, not just influential corporations that are highly connected, but all of us. And yes, that includes dogs.
But there's a more general class of campaigns that harness the attention-action cycle. Flagship victories in corporate campaigns, such as Costco's 2016 announcement that it would ban caged eggs, inspired activists to successfully target Kroger, too. The fundamental question every advocate should ask is, do I have an answer to the day two problem? How are my efforts on day one fueling attention and success on day two, day 10, day 1000? And all.
A good example of this also is the Starbucks campaign to get them to drop the surcharge on plant-based milk, because when that happened, that led Dunkin' to do it in pretty quick succession. Following Dunkin' was Peet's Coffee, which was a win just about several weeks ago. And speaking of the day two, you know, it's pretty clear that PETA and others who have worked on this campaign are thinking about who the day two is. There's even a campaign now, sort of a smaller scale one, but I believe PETA UK, or someone in the UK, they're trying to pressure Starbucks to make oat milk the default at Starbucks. And we're talking about like one of the biggest companies on the planet, like the biggest coffee company on the planet. So yeah, it's pretty impactful.
All the way to your final goal. If you can't answer that day two question, what do we do on day two after we win on day one? Then you probably aren't working towards scalable change. Just a side note, there's an interesting parallel between the day two problem and the method deep learning networks use to solve problems in artificial intelligence, which is called backpropagation. The second lesson from the Ridgeland case is that momentum is far more important than early success, because momentum is a sign of exponential growth. We only rescued 3 dogs from Ridgeland, and early progress was hard. Far from being persuaded by our efforts, the government tried to imprison me. But we had a theory of momentum. We thought every small sign of progress in this campaign, even something as trivial as just having the charges against me dismissed, would make future efforts dramatically more effective. And that is exactly what happened. From politicians to Ridgeland buyers, each incremental victory has made the next one easier. Most recently, the government is moving to potentially remove the company's veterinary license, and many of Ridgeland's buyers are cutting ties. These are victories that would have been unthinkable 1 year ago. The smallness of the original action and the early difficulty of progress were not as important as the momentum the work inspired. Too often, activists ignore momentum and are trapped by the curse of the present. This is particularly true in effective altruism circles, where tractability is often confused with early widespread success. The reality is that in most opportunities for scalable change, early widespread success is a red herring. It suggests you are doing work that targets low-hanging fruit, but probably doesn't have the momentum to scale. After all, if the work were easy and high momentum, it would have already taken off. What you want is not early success necessarily, but hard campaigns that have early momentum. For example, by building an activist base for your campaign. That was precisely our theory in the Ridgeland case. We didn't think it would be easy to win over the legal system. If it were easy, someone would have already done it. But we knew if we were able to make some legal progress, that progress would inspire the momentum to scale. And that theory has now taken us to the brink of saving thousands of dogs. Of course, we need to ask ourselves the day two question. What's next? The answer is saving all dogs used in experiments. Then on day 10, saving all animals used in experiments, not just dogs. And on day 1000, saving all animals exploited for any purpose. The action attention cycle of momentum from day one can be used to fuel all these future efforts. For example, if we're able to convince a court that animals are persons rather than property, that would apply just as much to monkeys, pigs, and chickens as to dogs. And that is precisely the sort of strategy that other movements, social, political, and even technological, have used to transform the world. And this same strategy of scalable change is not just likely to be deployed for animals. It is, in my view, virtually inevitable, and will create change far faster than even most vegans believe.
We don't have to hurt animals. You can protect them. We don't have to kill them. We can care for them. And that's who we're meant to be, right?
Look at that guy. Great video. Great video, Wayne. All right. Here's that video. Please go show it some love. Sub to Wayne's channel if you're not. All right. What are we going to watch next? What are we going to watch next? I didn't pull anything up. I ended up not reacting too much to these videos, so I didn't take as much time as I thought. Normally, it's been several hours when I watch that many videos because I stop them so often. Didn't have a good plan today. If y'all have any videos you want me to react to, send them my way. There was some news today. The Marty Project, Dane for Dogs, White Coat Waste put it out that the EPA and the FDA are taking steps to eliminate the requirement for animal testing. They are moving more quickly. Very exciting news. I'm hesitant to get too excited about things like this because when a government agency announces plans to do something, a lot of times it doesn't happen. So this is a very positive step. I'm not going to go and act like this is like some major breakthrough, but it could be. It could be. And it's a credit to groups like White Coat Waste, Dane for Dogs, Wayne, that attention is being placed on animal testing right now, especially we have a rare opportunity that it does seem like the government, for some reason, is receptive to the idea that maybe we should not test on animals. There seems to be some movement on that. Would be nice if all these politicians could view all animals the way they are currently viewing animals being tested on, but baby steps, I suppose. This would be massive, though, if that were to come true. I'm just going to play what popped up. Mel and Steve. So I always react to Mel and Steve. This one's a year old. Rather than making y'all sit there and wait for me to find something, we might as well just play this. All right. Mel and Steve.
Yes, honestly, it's crazy. Why do you guys do that? What? Really nice. At least you can take a knife and kill it in one way. Yeah.
If you was the victim, if you were the animal, would it be okay for someone to do that to you?
No.
What?
So now, could you be happy if I come to your house and kill your babies?
It's no difference. What's your name?
Okay, call me Lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Nice. So Lucky, you just done the challenge, right?
Yeah.
What's the emotions, mate? What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
It's crazy.
Yes,
honestly, it's crazy. Why do you guys do that?
Why do they do that?
Yeah.
The reason why they do that is because people eat meat, eggs, dairy, and fish. People eat animals. People buy things that are tested on animals. They're supply and demand industries.
Yeah.
So because people demand it, these industries supply it.
Oh, so do that. So do you guys bring this food to the store? Is it the food that we ate in the UK?
Yeah. So wherever you eat, wherever in the whole world, wherever you eat animals or animal secretions, they have to go through this process.
Yeah.
So animals' lives have to be taken to make, like, pork sausages, beef burgers, like cow burgers.
Oh.
So that's the same systems. That's like an industry standard.
Yeah.
And would it shock you to know that that's grass-fed, organic, free-range, and it's
Militant vegan?
RSPCA approved?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pull up some militant vegan.
So honestly, to be honest, I've been waiting for this one in the first video. So like my heart feels it's scaring me. Like I've been thinking like, why people? So there is no way that you can kill the animal in better way than that. So because
what do you think?
The way that I saw the video, it looked like
murder.
It made me like I don't want to go to hit the meat, or so they make my brain like not good enough to be thinking like that. To be honest, so for what I know, when I was back home in Africa, So it's very different between the way I saw the video on the TV now and the way that our people they kill the animal.
Do you think that there's a right way to kill an animal?
Yeah.
There is. What does it look like?
So, for example, like a pig, a goat. So, it is not important that you can kill the animal with electrical. The way that I saw it is electrical. Put it on the neck behind them.
Yeah.
Then
So you
the
saw
way
that.
the way they turn the dice, and it's not really nice. At least you can take a knife and kill it in one way. That's it. I think this is
Do you
the
think?
best.
Do you think that that's humane? Do you think that that's ethical, like a moral thing to do, to take the animal's life? Obviously, they don't want to die, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's okay to kill an animal that doesn't want to die?
You can kill it, but the way that you kill the animal now, the way that I saw the animal being killed, yeah. Like, let me say, so if you want to kill the animal, you could not kill it and put it in what is taught. Then you can wait until they song you, and you wait it like.
What if you were the victim? Would you accept your way of killing?
My way.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you get a sharp knife and you kill the animal quickly. If you was the victim, if you were the animal, would it be okay for someone to do that to you?
No.
Why not?
There you go. There you go. It's not okay.
I'm not animal, but I could not
We are animals.
accept that someone come to kill my wife.
Is it because you have a desire to live?
Yeah.
Do you think that they have a desire to live too?
Yeah, of course, sure. Because the God created them, and I think that the first people, that the first animal been created by the God. Because look at the kid, look at the small,
Sorry, the accent's really strong, guys.
the cow.
Yeah.
The egg.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
the way they.
They're babies. Babies, right?
So now, could you be happy if I come to your house and kill your babies?
It's no difference.
Not. It's difficult. You feel very bad. You have to protect. You have to protect the kid.
Of course.
They try to protect their kid.
Of course.
But
they can't.
They can't because the way that you harm them,
yes,
they could not harm you back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
if you are animal like them, I think they could protect the own children, and she can fight you either way you want to kill them.
Do you think that you need to eat meat, eggs, dairy, or fish to survive?
Meat, fish?
Do you think you need to eat animals to stay alive?
I can say yes because I don't want to kill the animals.
So you don't want to kill the animals?
I mean, by myself, I don't want to kill animals.
So you don't. We haven't got to eat animals.
Yeah.
You think that we can be healthy and not kill animals?
Yeah, I could be happy that. Let me say you can kill the animal. Yeah, you can kill the animal because it is right way you can kill the animal. But you can kill the animal in the right way that don't let it turn you.
We're going in circles here. We've already been through this when Steve asked him, you think the way that you describe killing would be okay to do to you? Now we're sort of going in circles here.
Do you think you have to kill the animal?
Me.
Anybody? Do you think we have to have animals to
Yeah,
survive?
Yeah, because we hate them.
Do we have to eat them?
Yeah.
We do have to eat
Yeah,
them.
we have to hate them.
If the science says to you that you can be healthy and survive without eating any animals or any animal products, would you agree that it's better to leave the animals alone and just eat the plants?
Yeah, I can.
The science. I'm gonna give you something in a minute that's going to show you the science.
Yeah, I can leave the animal to be alive.
Yes.
And I can hit a different food.
Yes. Have you heard of veganism? Vegan.
No.
So,
to be honest, this is my first time I saw this video.
Okay, right.
I've been watching this stuff like
Looks like David Rams right there.
1 year ago in 2022.
Yeah.
But in this street,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Chris Hines, David Rams. Couple of my favorite people.
2022.
Yeah.
But in this street, exactly. But I could not manage to take myself to see the video.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So you
because
saw maybe a cube or something?
Because I was invited, I ran in my colleague, and I don't want to be left.
Wasn't the right time. You're busy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So the thing is now, you've seen it. Every time you buy in the supermarket, you're now accountable. every time you buy animal products or secretion, so like milk or eggs, you're now personally accountable for paying for animals to go into slaughterhouses like that and be murdered. Personally accountable.
Jack Higgs. This was quite the event, wasn't it? Looks like Jack Higgs, Chris Hines, David Rams.
For paying for animals to go into slaughterhouses like that and be murdered. So you have an option now. Because you're accountable, you can choose to pay for animal abuse, or you have an option to buy the vegan option. The plants, the vegetables, the lentils, the legumes, the vegan burgers, vegan sausages. Which, after seeing what you could pay for, which decision do you think you're going to make from now on?
I could say that, like, the way that I saw the condition that I see, so I can take a big table is better than the way that I saw the animal being killed in that way. Because, why do I take that? Because the way I saw the meat, if it is the same way that we saw the food from the supermarket, egg, meal, chicken.
Yeah.
So it's a very
You see it differently now.
Yeah, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very
Nice.
difficult. Yeah.
Nice,
very
mate.
difficult.
Let me give you this, mate, because you won that because you watched it. That's vegan chocolate, so no animals are hurt in making that chocolate. Okay, and I'll give you this card here. You can check out that website and do some more research. And remember, the whole time you're not vegan, every time you buy animal products, you're paying directly for this.
This is so crazy.
No more, right?
All right, thank you so much.
All right, mate.
Okay.
Have a good day, mate.
Thank you.
He was cool. I think that it was a bit of a struggle with the language barrier here. So it was hard to sort of express back and forth. However, he said, you know, this is my first time seeing this, and he was grappling with it. So also a very positive interaction here. So
See you later on. Here's a nice guy. So a bit of a language barrier. It's difficult, but I got his feeling, got his emotion. He was nice. He's so affected by the footage. He was just like, I can't believe what I've seen that happens to the animals, and I don't want it to happen. He was still a little bit like, there is a good way to do it, like, you know, the sharp knife and the creep up on them and don't let anyone see coming. But hopefully what he's seen today will stick in his mind. Next time he goes to the supermarket, he'll make the right choice and do some more research on the card himself. Go vegan.
great video, as usual. Here's the link. All right, you guys asked for it, you get it. Militant vegan. Hang on a sec. Okay. Don't have any new videos for a while, at least like half a year. But here's one. Vegetarian challenges vegan activist, insightful. I've seen quite a few of Rafaela's videos. They're usually really great and sometimes insanely entertaining. And we've reacted to a few of them on this channel, including her great debate with Sean Baker, which was just a lot of fun. I don't know how much we learned from that debate, other than what we already knew, which is Sean Baker isn't that bright. We did learn that Rafaela is pretty effective at debating, as she controlled that debate from start to finish.
Vegetarian. But all the eggs I eat are locally sourced.
Oh, good.
From my friends. I buy them.
Okay, good. Thank goodness your eggs are locally sourced. You know, it's very important that the torture that's happening right next to you gets supported. Yeah. It's kind of how, like, you know, I know when I'm living in apartment complexes, I know if someone is screaming next door, it's fine because it's local. Look, if someone is screaming next door to my apartment in one of those other apartments, that's local murder. That's local abuse. So it's good.
For my friends. So usually, even when they're locally sourced, the chickens, once they don't lay eggs anymore, what happens with them? Well, my friends have had these chickens like since they were little. Like they're in their backyard. Yeah. So this question is called the question about backyard hens when we're discussing vegan ethics or animal rights as a whole.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consume backyard eggs because the people need the hens first. So they don't buy the male chickens because they don't lay eggs. So usually they go to a breeder and they just want the female hens, they buy it. So I don't approve buying animals as a whole because that's slavery.
And a lot of those their hatcheries are where they grind up the male chicks.
What happens to the male chickens who don't lay eggs?
Well, they probably die.
Yeah, they're killed. Yeah. They're not sold because nobody wants them. It's not desirable to have a chicken that's only loud and rather aggressive, the male ones, and they don't even bring you eggs.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is something that I would like to support. And the females, usually people only keep them for the production of eggs. So once they're not valuable anymore, they don't take care about them anymore, or they give them away. Or even if they do, you still have that act of symbolism that you don't stop cooking with eggs, that you still see eggs as something that you should eat and that is desirable to have in cake. Or you might even go out and eat food and eat something with an egg because you crave it, since you never lost that kind of comfort food, you know?
Yeah, I became vegetarian 3 years ago, and I never craved meat ever. I just didn't really care. But I was finding like it was hard for me to find sources of protein, and so I just chose to keep stuff like eggs in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tofu, tempeh, nuts, seeds, beans.
I
There's so
know,
much protein. So you can look at this strong vegan.
Guys, I got a donation. Thank you so much. And please let me know, did you try to send a message? Because I've tried to set it up so that messages pop up on the screen. But thank you to the person who donated. And please write in the comments if you did send a message. I'm trying to figure it out. This is, the Streamlabs is very new to me. Damn it, Jedi. Thank you so much. That's the second time, by the way. Did you try to say something? It's really kind of you. What did I drop? Did I drop a soybean? Okay. I'm a little distraught that I thought I had solved the message problem, but maybe I haven't. All right. Well, luckily my channel is so small as of now that we can just read the comments. Not luckily, but oh, I dropped some money, eh? Thank you. It's really kind of you, Jedi, that it's even kinder to me that people are donating to my channel right now when my channel is so small that I can already see every message, because I know that sometimes the impetus to donate to a channel is just to make sure that your message gets read. Like if you're a bigger channel like Vegan Games or something like that. So thank you so much.
Vegan man.
Yes, you too.
Yeah, thanks. You can.
Everybody, please put some W's in the chat for Jedi. I'll do it right now. W Jedi.
Get all the protein that you need from a plant-based diet.
For sure.
And there's the vegan meats and stuff. Some are healthy, some are not. But a matter of getting the nutrition and protein, the macronutrients is really not a problem. You just have to look a bit. But
in different ways.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a reason to keep on having chickens as production units. And I always, even if you look at it at a small scale and you say, hey, there's no abuse here, I understand that you would have that picture. But it always starts with something small. And then this habit gets passed on. The chicken grinder wasn't there from one day to the other.
For sure.
It started with people just seeing, oh, they lay eggs. I might as well domesticate them. I might as well So why not just stop this kind of using of animals as a whole?
You can poke holes into anything like that. Like the packaging that's made for all the foods you're getting, about the conditions of the people that made that.
Yeah.
You can go into any industry.
I'm going to give you that there's a lot of problems on
Nobot
this
is
planet,
activated.
but I don't see why we should continue abusing animals while working on these too. So there's abhorrent abuse of humans. There's even human slavery that's still going on. And you could say, yeah, why are you not working like against human slavery? I think the first form of discrimination.
All right, I'm gonna have to call my buddy at Tech Support International and figure out this whole tipping thing. So that because I want it to pop up, that would be awesome.
And abuse that we learn is that of animals. It's the biggest scale with the most victims, and they feel just like us, and it's the easiest for us in our daily lives to just stop.
So do you think, like, let's say if there was no like
Mary.
animal abuse, or people like kept in, or animals kept in like small quarters,
Being sneaky over here, Mary.
like we're from like a very big meat eating state in Kentucky, and I get judged a lot for not eating meat, and so whatever, I don't care.
Right.
But if there was only like hunters, like if there was none of like this bad stuff, like do you think that would be better?
Well, if you would approve going into the forest and hunting wild humans, then that would be consistent logic. But I wouldn't approve just going out and killing humans to eat them if you could also eat a plant-based diet. So I would not approve doing that to animals either, because they feel the same way. And I see no ethically significant difference here.
Yeah, sweet. Well, thank you for your talking to us. I believe in God, and God put meat on this earth for us to eat.
Oh shit. God put meat on this earth for us to eat. Oh God. Look at Raphaela's expression. She's like, oh, this was going so well.
I know, probably a sore subject, sorry, but
it sounds a bit delusional, right? It's not meat that he put in the first place. It's animals, and they feel. We are all meat. We are all blood vessels and skin tissue. So we're not meat. We're being a feeling individual. And degrading animals to God put meat here, I think it's really cruel. And you're losing your humanity if you're outsourcing that kind of responsibility to Sky Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sky
so
Daddy.
you can.
What was her? Who does she worship? It was Tofunya. She worships Tofunya. He did not know she went to med school. Yeah. The debate, you mean? Yeah. That was funny. Because he said, you're not a doctor. And she said, yeah, actually. Yeah, that kind of threw him, didn't he? Tofunya. No. Not Tofunya. Nah. Jedi. Tofunya. I know what's on your brain, Jedi. Tofunya. It's on Jedi's brain.
Believe in whatever you want, be it Santa Claus or God or goddess. Like I said, but please don't justify violence, discrimination, and animal abuse through a religion.
Yeah.
But animals also eat each other naturally.
Yeah. Right.
So
But that's a naturalistic fallacy if we would say, okay, the other animals do it, so we might also do it. There's actually humans who go and slaughter each other and eat each other. Just because Jeffrey Dahmer did something doesn't mean that I should follow along his steps, right? And if a lion, no, because if you're outsourcing your morals to someone else who is even more similar to you, a human than a non-human animal, then that would lead to this kind of vile brutality, saying, yeah, humans do that too, so I might as well, since I'm a human, do it.
You know, I'm just thinking what was weird. For some reason, I didn't catch this before. The lady that she's talking to said she doesn't eat animals and that she gets a bunch of shit in Kentucky for not eating meat. Remember, she's a vegetarian. And then she said, I believe that God put meat on the earth for us. Huh? Something's not adding up, lady.
Do it, or other animals do it. Look, a lion does not have a conscience, a way of reflection. We do, so why should we choose abuse and violence if we can decide not to?
So why do you think it doesn't have the conscience and self-reflection if you think it has? the individuality and the soul and all the rest of it. That
We don't have any reason to believe that animals who hunt prey feel guilty about it. They don't really show signs of remorse in the way that humans do. But even if we were wrong and they felt extremely guilty about that, or even if they didn't, we
Then that would be even more of a sign, wouldn't it?
shouldn't outsource the way that you can think and reflect to someone who can't and follow along their steps. You have the choice. Animals rape each other. Does that mean that we should go around and rape each other just because they do it?
Yeah.
I don't think any judge would let, hey, the animals do it too, be a valid excuse for raping and killing children.
She's so good at this. She's really good. I mean, I'm sure like we all have this in our, we all have these answers in our brain, but she's just really quick, isn't she?
And just like animals do.
Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. But please don't only say this is great or yeah, she has a point, because we all felt like hypocrites before going vegan, and I think only this hurts. And you being maybe even a bit mad at arguments coming from vegans is the reason why people turn vegan ultimately, because we feel we made a mistake, and honestly, that's so painful. That's the reason why people mock vegans, because they try to channel that anger that they have at themselves to others.
Yeah, I live in California, so like I have a lot of vegan friends and stuff.
Awesome.
I've been vegetarian for so long, I haven't considered going vegan, but this conversation was great.
Please, there's no vegetarian for the animals. It's against the animals. I'm gonna give you this.
I don't agree with that. I became vegetarian because like I watched videos like this.
Yeah, you did, but she's not saying you're intentionally, but she's saying it is against the animals with your actions. So while you didn't intend for it to be against the animals and you went vegetarian for ethical reasons, you're now being presented with the reality of what happens in dairy, in the dairy and egg industries, I assume. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of cope happening in her brain right now, but well, we've got a long way to go. So I guess this is going to devolve into excuse making time.
I don't agree.
There's no vegetarian for the animals. It's against the animals. I'm gonna give you this.
I don't agree with that. I became vegetarian because like I watched videos like this and I was like, I can do the little bit that I can and outsource my own stuff. So I'm definitely not against animals, like ever. I would never feel
Let
that
me
way.
explain it for a second. I say there's no vegetarian for the animals because the milk and the dairy and the egg industry, like I already said, is an industry of exploitation. It leads to taking children away from their parents, the calves from their mothers, to the fondling and sexual abuse of these animals, to the deaths of chickens. When so even if you went vegetarian for the animals, and I'm gonna say, hey, you're a good person, you probably did do that.
What is she thinking? She's vegetarian but uses God to justify eating meat. I know. The hell? It is that brain worm. It's just wriggling around in her brain. And that's why, right now the worm is like going nuts, wriggling around. And so it's hitting her brain in different parts. And that's why she's going back and forth. Wait, I'm vegetarian. Wait, no, I justify meat with God. Wait, what do I do? Calm down, worm. Worm, chill. It's making her crazy. God, these brain worms, it's such a problem.
The action is still against the animals because it furthers an animal abuse and slavery industry, and that's just the truth. So like I said, it's uncomfortable that there's no vegetarian for the animals. Not even veganism is for the animals. It's simply not contributing directly to the abuse and slavery. But there's so much more we should do. That's why I do activism too. And I think you should be vegan now.
Yeah, you are very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Have a great vegan day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Animals deserve respect.
Oh, okay. So it ended well. I thought since we're only halfway done, not even, that it was gonna go off the rails, but she held it together. Now she's a cow.
Rights. They are persons like you. You don't want me to eat you. Yeah. Yeah? And we stand here with our bodies for the bodies of the animals.
Do you belong to a certain group here? Or?
No, we're just activists. We don't. It's not an organization.
I was asking myself if I know anybody of you.
Ah.
But no.
Are you vegan yet?
Not yet, but
Wait, what did he say?
It's not an organization.
I was asking myself if I know anybody of you.
Ah.
But no.
Are you vegan yet?
Not yet, but I try to be vegetarian.
Well, how does that help?
Not yet, but I try to be a vegetarian. Well, I don't want to be too dismissive because I too was at one point saying things like that also. When I had heard that there was like this big climate impact, I'd heard something overnight on the BBC, them talking about the climate impact. And that was enough to make me think, maybe I should, be a little wishy-washy and be like, today I'll eat a vegetarian meal and tonight I'll eat meat, just bullshit like that. It was enough to get me to that point, but yeah. Hate that line. The Christians always quote meat-eating verses. They never say in the beginning, Genesis 1:29, right? Yeah. Selectively pulling out verses from the Bible. If y'all haven't seen the interview I did with Stephen Lee August, who is Vegan Heretic on YouTube, check it out. It's my latest video. And he talks about some of these Bible verses. He's an expert on the Bible, Christian animal rights activist, wrote a book called Vegans versus the Verses, which especially people like me, I'm not Christian. I read the Bible when I was little, not the whole thing, but a good bit of it. But it's been, decades since I even opened a Bible. So helpful for someone like me who's not versed in the verses.
Help the animals?
Being vegetarian?
Yes.
I mean, like you don't kill the animal directly.
It's not right. What happens with a dairy cow?
Matthew 9:13, it is kindness that I want, not animal sacrifices. James, the brother of the Lord, was holy from his mother's womb, and he drank no wine nor strong drink, nor did he eat flesh. Yeah, James was a vegan, to my understanding. Another thing I learned from watching Christspiracy was, Jesus's brother James was part of a group that didn't eat any animals.
Cow, if she gives no milk.
I mean, like it's already a step, no?
Is it though? I'm asking you, how is it? I just want to know.
I think it is in the sense of start feeling that directly killing an animal.
But it still happens, right? In the meat in the dairy industry, when a cow no longer gives milk, and she's a spent dairy cow, she's murdered for her flesh to still make some money from her.
They do that.
They do that. And why does a cow give milk? Do you know?
I mean, to feed.
Who?
People.
Her baby.
Huh?
Her baby, for her baby, not the people. Why does a human give milk?
To feed.
The baby.
Yeah,
Yes, so every animal milk is milk for babies from a mother. She's not giving milk because she's a cow, but because she's a mother.
See, but it's also a process, no? So you might understand that there is a way of being aware of a topic.
Yes.
Then there is an inertia in the system to address the topic, to make a change. And I guess it's not something that I guess you do right to want to change now to happen, but it's always the case that it takes time.
No, it's not always the case. We had many people go vegan overnight. There's no justification for it. I understand. No, not
believe
come
that
on.
you can.
I did.
Yeah, but I mean,
You
we're
can
not
too.
We're individuals, all right.
Yes.
But there is like a long thing about
In the
education,
society, yes. But with you said awareness. You are
the change
now.
Yes.
Now you are.
Yeah, a lot of people like talking about oh, it'll take society time. That doesn't mean it needs to take you time. You're a part of society. If you go vegan, then you accelerate the societal shift. But again, great point by Rafaela earlier, that it's really not enough even to be vegan. I mean, some people would say, yeah, that's enough. But I mean, if you're someone who really cares, then be an activist.
Aware that this is a holocaust, that this is slavery, that this is rape. In the milk industry, a cow has to be raped, her baby is taken away, just so you can take mother milk from her tits. You wouldn't take her mother milk, or her, but they could even give content. A cow could not give content, and they get murdered, and the chicken the same. So once you're aware, you can either be a hypocrite or you can be vegan.
But it has to do as well with the kind of system you rely on.
But the system here allows you to be vegan. That's not an
The Ebionite sect, vegan was deemed as heretics by the Roman Church. Scriptures that are associated with Paul are those that evolved into the Roman Church. For the followers of Paul, dropping the meatless dietary requirement of the Jesus movement was a way to make it easier to get more converts around the Roman Empire. Yeah, the Christians are always saying we have dominion. Yes. That was a good focus of my conversation with Stephen. The Orthodox religions of the world have always had a great way to rig the curriculum and manipulate history and practice revisionist history. They suppress the evidence, ban and burn books, and even whole libraries. What is this Ebionite? Ebionite Gospels, compassionate vegan verses, Gnostic, mystical texts, etc. And then they shout, hey, where's the evidence? Yeah, that's why we have so many slaughterhouses are satanic. Yeah. That's why the world is so backwards. Like, what's so frustrating is that all this stuff is so stupid too. And people just become brain dead when it comes to this topic. Like this guy's doing right now. He's practicing brain deadery right in front of us. Brainwormism.
excuse.
Yeah. Exactly. But I guess there is also a sustainable way to
Murder?
animals.
Sustainable way to murder? But they are murdered. They are enslaved.
But we are talking about this dimension of
which dimension would justify?
So small farms.
Small farm is still murder.
It depends.
How if you raise an animal for food, no matter the circumstance, and you kill it, it's even worse if it had a good life because it actually.
Come on, Rafaela. Come on. Stop saying the literal words of what happened. Stop it. Come on. Soften it a little bit, Rafaela. Make me feel good about it.
Wants to continue living.
You don't kill it. Maybe you take the so if you have chickens around in your garden, then you take the eggs.
And then you start cooking with it, and then you go out, and then you also eat the eggs in the omelette, and you never change the system that an animal is not a production unit. Once the hen does no longer give eggs, they don't want to care about it anymore, and you kill it.
No, it's not the case. You can also not kill the animal.
Well, but it doesn't happen. The things that you buy, that doesn't happen. You know how happens to these animals. And you live with them. The symbolism of eating those eggs as a vegan, as somebody who supposedly respects animal rights, it perpetuates that we can use animals as machines. People will start buying chicken, and that's slavery.
We are using human beings as machines since
100%. This idea that we're going to do this on a small scale and still perpetuate the problem, and then that'll make it go away. No, fuck that. The problem is you viewing animals like they're commodities, like they're here for you. That's the problem. And so you're one of many people. And that's why we have the big factories, because for you to have that mindset, to sustain that bullshit mindset that you have, we need giant factories slaughtering animals, because these small farms that you're talking about take up so much room, so much land. They're so inefficient. The reason why we have the factory farms is they're efficient. Efficient murder factories.
And does that
Decades.
make right using animals as machines? I don't use humans as machines. There's
We are
consent.
used as machines.
How are you used as a machine? Who is?
I work at a computer 8 hours a day.
And you signed a contract and you want to do that work, but
Yeah,
the
but I mean,
animals
like-
did not sign contract. No.
What's up, Hyperlink? Yes, I saw the Christspiracy video and we reacted to it. Maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, 20, something like that. Does a good job showing how human and animal slavery are closer than most realize. Yeah, it was a great video. Out of the loop, not able to listen to everything, playing this in the background. Gotcha. Well, scroll back if you want to watch the Christspiracy video. Although, you know, to be honest, I didn't really have much to add to that. I just watched it and learned from it and praised it. That's really all I could do because it was fantastic. Cam is so well informed on these topics that I didn't really have much to add to what he was saying.
Nobody will kill you once you stop working. The animals are killed once they stop working. That's slavery. That's the difference between workforce and slavery.
But it depends. Think. You go in the countryside.
Yes.
Okay. You buy little farms. You have your vegetables. Okay.
Yes.
And then you have chickens around that just free. They eat the stuff.
That's a
they find in the
utopia.
garden.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not free. If you have chickens, they're not free. They're being kept there. What is he talking about? Just free chickens. I guess he's hinting at free range, which they're also kept confined, obviously.
No, I mean, it's not
And
a
once
topic,
they
it's
don't
real.
lay eggs anymore, they don't want to be
Do you
fed.
know
feed their
tomateretten? Yeah, in Hamburg.
Yeah.
Do you know the?
No, I don't know that.
I hate the excuses, man. Like you already know. You're looking right at it. Just stop. Just stop. I have to be in the right mindset to deal with people like that. Like, I know I'm at a cube or I'm at some kind of event, like I'll be on my best behavior, but like in my head, what's happening is stop, you motherfucker. Just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You see it on the screen, stop justifying it. I'm sorry. He digs into etymology. Yeah. Yeah, he did some of the etymology, which is cool. Cam is fantastic.
Like a place close to Double Elbe.
Yes.
It's like a Verein.
Okay.
And you just keep, I mean, you used to stay in the project. You go there, there are like a big invernaderos, como se dice? Forgot in Deutsch, greenhouses, where they try to save tomatoes pieces. So they have hundreds of different species of tomatoes, and they have also some chicken around.
Yes.
And they lay eggs sometimes, and they use the eggs for them. I mean, I don't
And
see
once the
any-
eggs, I just told you why first of all, that's not the kind of eggs that you consume every day as a vegetarian. You go around and eat completely normal as a vegetarian. So you're not even talking about that situation right now. And even in that situation, it would perpetuate that we can have eggs from chickens and that we can abuse them for that because the chicken grinder. Because at the end,
Because you're viewing them like they're a commodity, like their body parts, like their bodily secretions are mine. They're not yours. They're not yours. And why would you want to eat eggs? They're terrible for you. They're packed full of cholesterol. Stop eating chicken periods.
end of the day, when a chicken no longer lays eggs, then they
Yeah.
should actually be put on hormone therapy so that they don't lay so many eggs. They should be fed back those eggs. Those are their eggs. They need the nutrition from that. We don't. We perpetuate them. They actually want to keep on sitting on their eggs. That's what they biologically, naturally want to do. We take away those eggs so that they don't have this instinct. It's broken. That's not fair. Feed the chicken back with the eggs once they stop sitting on them. Stop breeding chicken for that cause. That's nothing else but the starting ramp of slavery. And once again, that's not what you do. You go around completely normal, consuming animal products and acting as if that were from this utopian place that wouldn't even be okay either. So what's your justification for that?
There's no justification.
So you don't have a justification to not be vegan.
No,
So
no,
will
no,
you
no.
be an animal abuser now or vegan?
Wait. it depends. I guess your claim.
Look at this studly man right there, wearing just a pair of shorts, getting the word out. I think he's holding a sign, so he's with them. Just showing people, look, you can be muscular and badass, and you can just wear a pair of shorts. That's how good I look. I wish I had that physique. I do not.
Goes against the kind of economic system we live in.
No.
Because this utopia that you talked about, I know many people that live in this utopia system. I do personally go in the countryside.
I would even say in that utopia, it's wrong. Once you buy products, you perpetuate the myth of having animals as slaves. That's still wrong.
You have.
That's what I told you.
You don't buy
Even if I have chickens at home, they have to come from somewhere. So the chickens are sold. That's nothing else but slavery. And nobody wants to buy the male chicks, the roosters. Nobody wants them because they don't lay eggs. So they are killed, murdered. That's a whole industry of abusing animals behind that.
You cannot make of a thing like a behavior for everybody. It depends
Of
what your
course I
values
can.
are.
She's talking to you. She's not talking to everybody. It's up to you. That's the whole point of this conversation.
Can I use humans that way?
It's full of acceptance.
So I can send you to the slaughterhouse, steal your milk if you had any in your breast? Take your baby? Can I do that to you? Would that be okay, yes or no?
Of course, no.
Why is it then okay?
Well, of course, he has this whole like, oh, it's funny how his body language and his responses are all this like, oh, please, no, come on, Rafaela, please,
Hey, well, why is
it's
it
like
then
a child. It's kind of childlike, isn't it? Like, what? It's like whiny. It's like, mom, are we getting pizza? It's very kind of childlike, full of excuses and deflection. Indeed, hyperlink. Dr. Gregors, who says eggs aren't healthy or safe, is a favorite to send to people who are hooked on eggs. The industry wasn't allowed to lie in advertising because of government ties. It's awesome. Yeah. They were like, they couldn't advertise as a health product or something. I remember this from a few years ago. Yeah, something like that.
okay with the animals? Why?
It's not okay to me.
So you have to be vegan.
You're trying to justify it. Yes, you are. Sorry. I should let the video play for more than 0.4 seconds before I pause again, but I had more to say.
You have to be. Yeah, I understand that you see that there is a direct Fabindu.
Yeah.
It's right. And I agree with your quotes.
So you have to be vegan or you're
Guys, I'm sorry. Let's hear this guy the way he was meant to be heard.
no.
Now that I can get behind. Now he brings up some good points.
Direct Fabindu.
Animals, why?
It's not okay to me.
So you have to be vegan.
You have to be. Yeah, I understand that you see that there is a direct Fabindu.
Yeah.
Tasty addition to it.
It's right. And I agree with your quotes.
So you have to be vegan or you're a hypocrite.
I am a hypocrite.
So we will be vegan
We
now,
are all
or will you? I'm not a hypocrite. I don't see where I'm a hypocrite.
I mean, I don't know you, but I'm pretty sure that there is a certain percentage of you which is a hypocrite.
Yeah,
no,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
And in that stance, there's no discussion. If you're against slavery and the abuse of humans that way, then you need a justification to do it to animals, or you're a hypocrite. A discriminating piece of
Yeah, hold him to account, Rafael.
animal abuse, then you need a justification to do it to animals, or you're a hypocrite. A discriminating piece of animal abuser.
I am a hypocrite?
Yes, you're an animal abuser. Will you continue being an animal? We all just turned vegan because we understood that we're hypocrites, and being a hypocrite, it's a terrible thing.
But do you think that just being vegan solves all the issues we have?
No, of course not. That's why.
It was her last conversation, but she did say, yeah. Well, it would solve a lot of the problems.
I do a terrible thing.
But do you think that just being vegan solves all the issues we have?
No, of course not. That's why I do activism.
That's a part.
That's
no?
why I
That's
do
a part.
activism.
But look,
yes,
it's good that you have you're doing this path, and you are trying to address a problem of this
But it's
war,
not
okay?
good that you're an animal abuser.
But look,
Yes.
I may be doing something else.
It's
that
wrong.
is not really.
It's wrong what you're doing.
Yeah, but maybe you're doing other wrong things, but it doesn't.
So who cares? If I go and rape people, that doesn't justify you gassing pigs.
But it doesn't justify you to attack people this way.
I'm not attacking you. I'm having a discussion. You can go away anytime. You are actually attacking the animals, the cows that are being stabbed, that are torn away from their children. That is attacking.
To be filmed or what?
Yeah, we're filming.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just first, maybe ask about filming.
I don't have to.
Okay. But you can ask.
Now he's upset because he's on film.
You can ask the cow if she wants to give you her milk. Are you asking the cow if she gives you her milk?
As a matter of.
Are you asking? I don't care about politeness. Are you asking the cow if she's giving you her, if she can give you her milk? Do you ask her for consent? You don't care about that. You just stab her, take away her babies, you take away the eggs from the hen. You don't ask these animals. So don't talk to me about politeness. That's disgusting.
I mean, yeah, hypocrite as me.
What? Where?
Where? Do you
And
want
even
to
if-
investigate
and even if-
in your lifestyle?
And you can't say that without evidence. That's a claim without evidence. And
You too.
why? You are an animal abuser if you're not a vegan. I know that. That's enough to tell you that if you're against slavery and animal
Mom, stop.
abuse and you're not
Look at
an
him.
animal abuser if you're not a vegan. I know that. That's enough to tell you that if you're against slavery and animal abuse and you're not vegan, that makes you a hypocrite. Unless
But Ma,
you have an argument to counterfact that. So great. Will you stay an animal abusing hypocrite or
Yeah,
will you be
maybe I
vegan
should
now?
try to look like
That's
you,
not
Tom.
fine. Goodbye.
I'm vegetarian.
all that. Oh God. When people walk up, they're like, "Yeah, I'm vegetarian." Like they're thinking, like, "Oh, you're gonna embrace me because I'm vegetarian." Let's check this one out. Vegan versus human rights. Oh wait, I didn't link. Did I not? I did not link. Here we go. Let's send that. Let me link this. Yeah, she's fantastic. I know. They want that high five, a big one. Guys, I see 3 viewers right now. 3. That means some of y'all stepped away without permission. I did not see anyone ask me, Jeremy, I graciously, humbly, respectfully request that I be allowed to step away. Didn't happen. I know. Wow. I'm just letting people just do whatever they want willy-nilly. It's the Wild West in my chat right now.
Belong to this? Do you belong to this? Yes. I think it's very beautiful that you are against all kinds of killing.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Is the
What's this?
who executed is Adam? They executed this one.
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm
What?
also against execution, but are you still executing animals?
No.
Are you vegan?
No, it's an animal.
Yeah, animal.
No, it's a,
It says against all kinds of killing.
you think this is people?
Animals are people. They can feel just like us.
Oh, no.
Yes, yes, they are animal
See,
people.
these numbers aren't accurate because we got you here, we got Jedi here, Mary, we've got Hyperlink, and I'm there. I'm watching. I don't think the numbers are accurate. We can't trust them. Can't trust YouTube at all. I think there's more than that.
People, they
Maybe
feel.
No.
Yes.
Iran, sorry, Iran is the right is the for Iran.
Yeah.
Iran, there are a lot of people displaced.
Yes, I understand that's terrible. I'm also against execution, but you're being a hypocrite if you execute animals.
Oh, yes, no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I don't believe in executed, but I like it animal.
But you eat the animal.
No.
You eat meat?
No.
You eat milk?
No.
There-
Yes.
Yes. This is rape.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to show you. You are also showing the truth here. We have to show the truth.
No, I know true, darling. I know.
Then it's even worse that you're not vegan.
I know. That today is my countries, there are a lot of situations.
So how is that a justification to rape and enslave cows?
Dolly, this time is the my country is a very bad situation.
And why do you put cows in a
What's her country? Where are they?
an even worse
Ukraine?
situation?
Dolly, in my country, every day people executed.
Yeah, you're executed.
Okay. You're standing right next to Rafaela. Seems to me that you are in the same place since you're right next to each other. So what's happening in your country, people are being executed, means that you can go and get dairy from Starbucks? No. I noticed they're like physically touching. That's how close they are.
Cows every day. You're a hypocrite murderer. You can't be against executions, against rape, and do the same thing to cows. But she's fleeing from her responsibility. Hypocrites. What do you think about this?
I'm trying to understand it. Non-vegans rape and enslave animal persons. Well, I'm not vegan.
Relation between this and this.
So this is slavery because they look different. That's what they based this on. And this is slavery because they look different. This is what non-vegans base it on.
Non-vegan. So I'm not.
Nice. So good. What's up, Gray Sky Vegan? Nice to see you. Oh, it says 6 for you, Mary. It says 4 for me. Yeah, don't make them feel comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable.
Vegan. Can you tell me a little bit more
You
about?
don't want people to be comfortable with eating animals. So, like if it's a comfortable conversation, it's probably going to leave them feeling comfortable about what they're doing.
What you're saying?
Yeah, so I used to be non-vegan too, so I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I turned vegan because I understood I'm against discrimination. I'm against using somebody's body to my advantage without their consent.
Sure.
And that's in effect what we do to animals when we send them into these concentration camps, when we deport them into slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
We're saying you're just a slave.
Yeah.
Like my taste is worth more than your entire life.
That's true.
And I am against that. I wouldn't do it to humans. I wouldn't do it to women.
I wouldn't do it to humans or women. I agree.
But this is exactly what we're doing to animals if we're not vegan.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It's true. He just said, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, now that you know that, I cannot judge you for your past because we all need that moment of understanding, shit, this is the Holocaust. This is rape.
Yeah.
But now, what will you do with that information?
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that humans are the most important species, and I don't feel that human lives are at all equal to animal lives.
It's not relevant.
Yeah. What? Why? For one, why? I really like, the James Aspie comment he made to Logan Paul when he was saying, like, when Logan Paul was like, I'm so much more important than a squirrel, sorry. And then James was like, to you, but to the squirrel, obviously their life is more important. So yeah, obviously you value humans more because you're a human. But if you could step outside of yourself, take a bird's eye view of everything, then you would see that actually, no, you're really not more valuable than a squirrel or a bug or anyone. They're just as valuable. Like, what makes you so valuable? And like, you could argue humans are less valuable because we go around destroying everything. So I don't know. Maybe I'd say the squirrel is more valuable. The squirrel isn't fucking up the planet, killing tons of animals. He started out really honest. He stayed honest with his answer. But damn, it's just such a dodge. Like, well, let's see how it goes. We're only 3 minutes in.
If they are equal, but it is relevant if an animal is worth more than your taste buds.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and to be honest, yeah, I don't feel bad for cows.
So you're for enslaving and raping
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Is he? I'm sorry, the only proper response to that is fuck you. But that's why I'm not doing these. Rafaela is. Sorry, I don't feel bad for a cow. Well, go fuck yourself. Get out of here.
cows.
You're being recorded. Yeah.
You're for enslaving and
Yeah,
raping
you're being
cows.
recorded.
Are they being raped?
Yeah, this is artificial insemination. This happens to all animals in the animal slave industries. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta eat. I guess, yeah.
But I mean, you're against animal abuse.
But they're generally the cow. Honestly,
You're not against animal abuse.
well, like there's like the monkey
Wait.
stuff where like
Wait.
you know like where they do tests on monkeys and stuff like that to try to cure cancer.
Terrible.
Is he going to justify that?
I think that if we killed 1 million monkeys but found a cure to cancer, that would be worth it.
But where's
Oh, God. First of all, that's not happening. Killing monkeys isn't curing cancer. We still have cancer. How many monkeys have they killed trying to cure cancer? Where are the results?
the ethically significant difference between a monkey and a human monkey that justifies enslaving and raping them without consent for these trials?
I suppose the difference is that as the human race, we value our lives more than the other.
Yeah, but that's not an ethically significant difference. I can value, I don't know, birds more than your life. Can I then send you to the slaughterhouse?
If all the humans agree, yeah.
That would be an appeal to popularity. That would be fascism.
That would be
Just
fascism.
because everybody agrees on something that's violent doesn't make the violent act moral.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Okay, if you agree, then do the right thing. What's up, Sally? You're still here? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't think these numbers are accurate. I'm seeing 5 right now. And I think it's more than 5. I think it's more. Let's count them up. Jedi, Hyperlink, Sally, Mary's here, Gray Sky Vegan. I'm here watching my own feed. That's at least 6. And I know I got some lurkers. I know not everybody's chatting.
even if you value animals less, the question isn't how much you value.
I have like very dedicated viewer in Joe Rogan, Neil deGrasse Tyson. They're viewing my channel all the time. So I know that they're here. So that's like 7, 8. I know that the people like Earthling Ed, Ed's watching my channel a lot, trying to get, tips and tricks on how to grow a channel. So I know Ed's here lurking. So we know that's a lot of people here.
Value them, but if you value them enough to not commodify them as a slave, I don't have to view you two the same. Maybe you are way more intelligent. Maybe you don't go around hitting women, but he does, for example. Then you are not the same value. But I would still say, maybe the hitting women thing not, but you still have a right to your body.
Yeah.
And the animal, doesn't the animal have a right to their body?
I don't think so. That's
You
what I'm
don't
saying.
think the animal has a right to their body?
Not really.
To feed, I guess.
So if you serve a purpose, then I can use your body for my purpose?
Just an absolute,
Where's the
just
ethically
an absolute scumbag. What makes him such a scumbag is that he agrees with her on everything and just decides, yeah, no, fuck animals.
significant difference?
For me, humans are the most important race.
We understood that. You're repeating yourself. I already debunked that that's not a reason to slaughter. If I say women are more important than
Mary.
men,
Then you can kill men if women run the world.
that would be okay for you.
Well,
Mary left? Oh my God. If we just let cows and goats walk around and strip all of the native species while pooping in the soil, everything would totally thrive. Oh, totally. Definitely. A knuckle sandwich. Yeah. A vegan knuckle sandwich.
but I don't think that. So
Yeah, but it would be absurd. Just because I think somebody is worth more than someone else, which is a human supremacist stance in itself, and it's discrimination in itself.
I agree.
then you are being a human supremacist, discrimination
against animals.
violent person. You're being a racist towards them, a speciesist.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a rapist, racist, animal abuser, or a vegan?
Not to my own race. That's what I'm saying.
But you're doing
I
that
understand the principle.
But that's just racism then, towards animals.
Toward animals, yes.
And you want to be that way.
Yes, because I want to keep eating meat.
So
Fuck
your
you.
pleasure of eating meat
is more important than the animal's life. Yes.
Are you?
What a. What? So I don't know if I would continue to engage with this person. I would probably just like let them know what a shitty scumbag they are, and then just walk away and try to talk to someone who wasn't such a scumbag. You know, because there's only limited time. But I guess let's explore further because we can make some great content out of this complete loser.
Listening to yourself? That's disgusting, right? You're disgusting. That's a disgusting thing to say.
That's how I was raised. That's how my culture was raised.
Oh, I was raised to be a scumbag. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I'm part of a scumbag culture. I'm a scumbag. A scummy scumbag.
Race too. I told you at the beginning of the conversation. Of course, because I don't want to be contributing to slavery, rape, and murder. And you said yourself you don't want to.
I mean, okay. So what do you eat?
Vegan, whole food, plant-based stuff: oatmeal, fruits, beans, seeds, legumes,
Plants
grains.
have a right to their life and to live in.
Plants are not sentient beings. Plants.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Here comes the plants rights activist. Yeah. All right. Guess we got to do this now. I feel like in a lot of videos that we've reacted to recently, this one hasn't come up. Maybe, like, is it possible that plants rights is starting to finally fizzle out and die down? Because I'm not hearing it as much.
Can react to stimuli just like your phone, but your phone can't feel. And even if you want to say the plans of a soul, that would be all the more reason to be vegan and eat a plant-based diet, because more plants are fed to your animal slaves that you commodify for your taste buds, because you seem to be like a man-child who says yummy yummy is more important than a fucking body and a life and a soul.
I'm sorry that I offended you.
You're offending the animals. You're murdering them. You're sending them to slaughterhouse, even though you cannot be an animal abuse. I don't believe that. But you're a hypocrite.
Okay.
Will you not change that?
No.
It makes you disgusting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine I treated your family the way that you treat animals.
Yeah, that would be awful. I would not like that.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
Animal families don't like that either.
I'm sure they don't.
So don't do unto others what you
So go fuck yourself.
don't want done unto you. Thank you. Have a great vegan life, hypocrites. Pause today.
Thank you. Thank you. God, I thought we were going to do that for another 14 minutes. Luckily, we did not. Yeah. The proper, just gather around, boys and girls. Here's my best advice I could give. The proper response to anybody saying things like that to you is fuck right off. That is the proper response. And I would argue, maybe even more time than they deserve from you. That's giving them time. Yeah. Yeah, people like that, you just shun them. Make it clear you're so foul to me that I don't want you in my space. Give me space. You know, give me a buffer from people like that. I don't want to be close to you. I don't want any of that scumminess like getting onto me. Because, you know, like we're all shedding molecules and shit. He's shedding scummy molecules everywhere, and some of them probably got on Rafaela. She's going to need to take a long shower after that.
Do you want to so bad at this? So we work at ATD Fourth World, it's an anti-poverty charity, and we see that women's voices when it comes to poverty, they're not talked about, and also people living in poverty do not have the space to come to a march like this. So we did a banner, little flyer to talk about why.
Let's see if she's consistent. I have high hopes. She seems earnest, intelligent, passionate, and I bet you she's going to react. Wait, it's going to go bad because this says vegan versus human rights heated debate. Damn it. Damn it. It wasn't the last one that was the heated debate. It's this one. Oh, Lord. What's that? Is there like a, oh, there's like a, oh, that statue. It's like a lion. You're like, stay off.
It's important to talk about those people living in poverty that do not have voices, and no one really talks about their struggles.
Amazing. So you're raising your voice for the
Yeah.
voiceless.
Yes.
That's great. I'm doing the same thing for the animal voice.
Yes, Rafaela. Dark side Carnus molecules. They're everywhere. It's hard to avoid them. I'll grant that. They're floating around. Yeah, that's a salt hyperlink. Sally, they can use virtual reality with experiments. They choose to use live animals. Yeah, and that's one of the things that the EPA and the FDA put out statements today saying that they're going to move away from using animals, and they talked about the different alternative methods that they're going to push, like AI. I forget what it's like. I'm not an expert on this, like chip, like organ on a chip kind of thing. I'm not an expert. I'm sorry. I don't. No taming ancient monolithic lion sign. Yeah, that's right. I wonder where this is.
Voices. So we're all
Isn't she in Amsterdam? Is that right?
against rape, right? So why are we still paying for the rape and torture of animals?
Yeah.
Are you vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
Okay, so you're raping cows, right? That doesn't really fit your agenda.
No, yeah. I actually spoke about this very recently with a friend.
You spoke about this very recently with a friend and didn't change. Shocker. The person out here saying that we ought not rape women. What was her cause again? Sorry, let me
So,
back
yeah.
up.
So,
820. Let me get.
And we see that women's voices when it comes to poverty, they're not talked about. And also people
They're not talked about.
living in poverty do not have the space to come to a march like this. So we did a banner, little flyer to talk about why it's important to talk about those people living in poverty that do not have voices.
I wonder, like, for this woman, does she think it's enough to just talk? Is that her? Like, is she just a talker or a doer? I mean, you would assume like she's out there, so she's doing. But this is one of those issues where you can just talk, right? It doesn't require anything of you. You can come to the march and feel good about yourself, hand out some flyers. But in your day-to-day life, does it require any kind of sacrifice or any kind of change? Not really. Not really.
Are you vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
Okay, so you're raping cows, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't really fit your agenda.
No, yeah. I actually spoke about this very recently with a friend.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
It's been in my mind. Yeah.
Maybe I'm the last push now, because the thing is, I'm standing up there with the other animal rights activists. Here's the demonstrations for women's body rights. There's the demonstration against war. And everybody's shouting for freedom, for ceasefire. But then we have slaughterhouses. There's no ceasefire there. Shouldn't you cease your fire to animals from now on? Yeah. So let's be vegan, right? From now on. Great. Have a great vegan life. And I wish you all the best here.
Thank you.
Please tell all the feminists here, if you want to be a feminist, you have to be a vegan. Otherwise, you're raping and
She's just trying to get out of this.
enslaving cows and other animals. Have a great vegan day. Goodbye.
Okay, well, it didn't become a thing. So that was quick. But look at that. Look at the sheepish grin as she walks away. That's a pretty cool still shot, isn't it? Look at this. Did I pause it at a cool time? Look at Raffaella looking awesome. It's even got like half of her close up with the cow head. I'm gonna leave that on the screen while I check y'all's comments. I like that. Yeah, she was just trying to get away. The plants feel pain is a cop-out. Yeah, it's a cop-out. At least she didn't try plants feel pain. At least the human rights lady. But yeah, it was just, yeah.
Things that make it more difficult for us.
Sorry, but I speak English so and so.
Okay, which language?
Italian.
Ah, bad. Okay, a little. You're against cow fisting? Or for cow fisting?
No, I against.
Against cow fisting or for cow fisting?
Against. But you consume dairy milk?
Yes.
This is dairy milk.
He was playing her
Is
too.
this bad? You say against, bad, but then you
against.
but then you go nom 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 nom. And you pay for this, for cow fisting. Are you for slavery? Slavery? Yeah. Slavery bad.
Yes. Yes.
But are the animals free?
It's the same.
Yes, it's the same. But it's not funny.
No. Absolutely.
Good.
I like that. Yes, it's the same, but it's not funny.
Good that you understand. But what will you do about it? Vegan.
Maybe. Maybe.
Not maybe. You don't say maybe bad. No, you say bad, not maybe bad. Bad.
Maybe vegan. Not.
But if you say maybe vegan, you say maybe bad. Maybe bad. No, it's bad.
Yes.
Maybe bad.
Yes. So if something is bad, I should not pay for more bad.
Yes.
I can eat fruits, beans, seeds, grains, nuts, pasta with tomato sauce, pizza, marinara without the cheese. You know, you can have great vegan food. I love cooking vegan food in Italy. It's great. You can have great sources of vegan vegetables in Italy too.
In Italy now there are many vegan.
Yes.
Many.
And one more now. Not maybe. If you're
yes.
If you're not vegan
Probably.
now, you understand you're a hypocrite.
No. I understand.
Yes. This is your way.
Yeah, okay. So this is just like hard for people in the moment to be like, yeah, okay, you're right. I'll do it.
Up call.
Yes.
Yes. So I give you a card.
God, I wish when I was young I had met Raffaella and she had done this and called out my bullshit, my layers of bullshit. She could have peeled them back and why didn't I meet like a kick-ass vegan back in the day? I probably did and I just ignored it. I've told this story several times that like shortly before I went vegan, I had gone on a couple of first dates with vegan women. And I wish they had been like more pushy about it. They were just real chill about it. We were at some bar, one of them, and I ordered like chicken wings and I asked her, or chicken tenders, and I asked her, you don't mind if I order this, right? And she was like, I think she was like, you do what you got to do or something like that. I would have been like, fuck yeah, it bothers me. Don't you do that shit. Or at least like, I'd rather you didn't. Goons. It's Mario. That's right. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was wondering if maybe Mario and Luigi are vegans. Probably not. But they should be. They could eat mushrooms. Italian is one of the easiest to vegan. Yeah, I've been making a lot of spaghetti lately. A lot of spaghetti. It's so easy to make vegan spaghetti. Even with meatballs, vegan meatballs. But I'm too lazy to even do that. I'll just put on, like, what have I been doing? Spaghetti with some garlic powder, a little bit of oregano. My buddy told me to do that. Put on a little oregano, a little parsley. What was the other thing? A little thyme and garlic powder, a little bit of salt. Oh, so good. Might even do that after this. It was a test. She was plant-based. Who's plant-based? Yeah, they could stop using animals 10 years ago. Sorry, I'm just catching up. Didn't realize I was a couple minutes behind. Oh, gotcha. Gray sky. That happens. That happens a lot. I'm used to it. Person who put me onto veganism showed me vegan gains back in 2015, but he ended up thinking he needed grass-fed beef to cure Crohn's. What? Grass-fed beef to cure Crohn's disease. What the fuck is with... I realize I use the word fuck a lot. My buddy and I, we tried to play Roblox. And there's like a ton of like babies playing Roblox. Anyway, I kept talking naturally. I'd be like, oh shit, you know, like if I fell or something. And I kept getting muted. I kept getting muted. I was poorly behaved at Roblox. And like, yeah, we'd be like walking around and there'd be someone talking to us who sounded like they were like literally like 5 years old. Game's fun though. We were doing this like mountain climbing thing. I didn't stream it. I should have streamed it, but we were doing it on the computer, not on my PlayStation. Anyway, I digress. If I'm dating someone, Jedi says, I'll force them to be vegan or I'm done. Fuck yeah. That's right, Jedi. Exactly. Like, why would you date a non-vegan? Like, I will at the beginning, but if they don't go vegan fast, like, sorry. No. It's like the vampire who converted you dying to the stake. Why did we both use capital words at the same time? Yeah, I don't know. You guys are in sync. Sounds like the guy VG was talking about in Jeremy's interview with him. Who? Which guy? Are we talking about vegetable police? Because I brought up vegetable police. That guy is crazy. Yeah, probably vegetable police. That guy goes from vegan to carnivore, carnivore to vegan, vegan to carnivore. Like, he's done it like 80 billion times on his channel, and people are still watching his channel like, oh, I wonder what he has to say now. Like, are they just watching for the lulz? Yeah. Yeah, vegetable police.
There's a movie also in Italian. It's a German card. It's called Dominion, the movie, in Italian too.
Yes.
It shows the slavery for eggs, for milk, for leather, for meat, for all.
Okay.
But to be honest, you don't have to see anything anymore because you are a wise man.
Yes.
You wear glasses. Wise men wear glasses.
Yes.
You understand that slavery is wrong and that this is slavery.
Yes, I understand. I understood.
Yes.
Thank you very
Not only think, but doing. That's what we judge people on. It's not enough to only understand. Have a great vegan life.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So why can you do it to a cow?
Nice. We're just going through these one by one. I need to get some glasses, and I'll put them on when I'm making a really smart point, guys. Or when I'm making a dumb point, but I want it to seem smarter, I'll wear the glasses. So I need a prop. I don't own a pair.
It's a natural process.
A natural process. Putting your arm down a cow's butt is a natural process. Artificial insemination is a natural process.
No,
that process is wrong.
Yeah.
If you did it, if it happens naturally.
But how would that happen naturally in an extent to where you can constantly consume the cow's milk? It wouldn't.
Consuming how they're treating animals and mass producing them is wrong.
Okay, in which way can you use somebody's body without their consent that would make it right?
No, I was trying
Wait,
to say.
can he answer for a second?
Use someone's body without their consent.
Yeah, the animals cannot give consent, can they? Can he answer for a second?
We as human beings have dominion over the animals.
Yeah, but you can be a caring shepherd.
Here we go with Dominion again. Make sure, Rafaela, I know you're listening. In the moment, I'm coming to you now from the future, but I'm telling you, make sure you send him away with Dominion to watch.
Yeah, so
I think she listened.
If I have dominion over someone, that's a responsibility, not a justification to use someone's body in trip. Yeah, but the bodies are being used without consent, right? Or can the animals consent? Do they want to go to the slaughter? The animals can't consent. So if someone can't consent to me using their body, that's rape.
We have pets.
You're raping animals. You should not buy pets. You should save pets and keep them as companion animals.
Has that animal gave you permission to have them?
What's the alternative to an animal sitting in like an orphanage for animals? What's the alternative for him staying in a cage all day long? That's why I'm saying they should not be raised to sell. I'm against making more pets. If I could press a button now and we wouldn't have any pets anymore, I would be completely fine with that.
I agree. Look, I agree what you're saying now. This is wrong.
But you are actually paying for
It's all wrong. This is wrong. Again, they look at the screen. They're like, oh, there shouldn't be. That's the one weakness with all this. It's like they look at the screen. They say, oh, that's terrible. We need to shop at the small farms.
For this. If you consume animal products, you are paying for rape and slavery of animals.
I was trying to say, sorry.
You're a hypocrite, though. If you say this is wrong, let me rephrase
Right,
what
Sally?
you just said. This is wrong. This is what you're paying for. This is what you're paying. You realize that. You're just trying to shove your responsibility away. If you buy normal animal products every day, where can you buy it from? Look, if you go to, first of all, you
Actually, Sally, we reacted to vegan gays at the very start of this video. Video she just put out on dairy, but it's on the vegan FDA page, not on vegan gays' page. But it was like 5 reasons why dairy sucks.
who are here in London right now. You are consuming a normal animal product. I see it here. Yeah, you know it. So, just as me, you do not know the name of the cow where you drank the milk of her teats. And then again, she did not make that milk for you. She made it for her baby. Are you a baby cow?
Hold on.
Are you a baby cow?
Can I?
What is it?
No. Pardon?
Other drink milk.
He's lactose intolerant.
Cheese, the same thing.
Okay.
If there's milk and cakes and stuff, if you drink lactose-free milk, if you consume egg products, if you eat their body parts, well, you can get all protein from a plant-based diet.
Sorry,
He's a vegan bodybuilder.
Can I? I got big arms, but anyway.
Yeah, so you can have
Who's
big
filming?
arms, you can get all protein.
I got big arms, but anyway.
Yeah, so you can have big arms, you can get all protein from a plant-based diet. Where does a cow get her protein from? From grass. Where does a gorilla get her protein from? From meat. Where does different? Yeah, but you can in extent get all the protein that you need from a plant-based product.
How they're forcing things and mass producing is wrong.
So if I have one single animal,
before we became whole civilization, we were farmers.
But right now we are in the civilization. You are a product of the civilization. You are consuming products.
We go to the government. The government is the ones that have the control. If the government stops smoking,
that's just pushing away your responsibility. Would you buy products that were murdered humans in the supermarket? Okay, why wouldn't you eat humans but eat animals? Because what?
People that blame the government are often so submissive to the government. Like if you feel like it's the government's fault, but I'm just going to keep doing what the government wants me to do and keep buying the meat. Like, man up? I don't know. I shouldn't use the word man up, I guess, because you can do it if you're a woman. I'm just like, Grow a pair of balls or tits, whatever. Grow a pair of something and use it to stand up to the government. Use your tits to stand up to the government. Use those balls. Use those balls. Take away from today's video, use them balls.
Why is it immoral?
It's been immoral since time of it.
But that's an appeal to tradition. If it were
Tradition.
yeah, it's an appeal to tradition. If it were a thing that we had always eaten humans, would you find that okay to enslave other humans?
Yes, because that would be normal.
So if we would, just because it's normal, it's okay. Are you a fascist? Can you not think for yourself?
By the way, thank you guys for watching my stream with such insightful commentary that I provide. I'm sure a lot of you right now are thinking, what am I doing here with my life? But I thank you. It's very flattering.
Versus, yeah.
Dude, just because something's more normal doesn't make it moral.
No, I was trying to
Slavery was normal. Was that okay?
It was normalized, yeah.
Yeah, but you're against slavery, I guess.
Huh?
You're against slavery, right?
Yeah, I'm against that type of slavery.
Awesome, but are the animals free? Are the animals free?
The animals are animals. They don't.
That's exactly what they said about black people. They're just animals. They have a mouth. Are you blind?
They
have no voice. They have no voice. They said the same thing about black people. That's really embarrassing for you to say, though. They said they said the same thing about black people. They're lesser. They have no voice. They are more stupid. They are under us. They look different. They speak different. They have a different soul. They have no soul. Exactly the same things that you say. Exactly the same things that you say about animals right now. They said about black people. You should be so exactly. Just because you say that does not.
All right. At this point in the conversation, we do need to demarcate between who's speaking when.
Make it right. Exactly. And you are wrong just the same way as these racists where you're a speciesist. That's racism towards animals. Do you realize that? Of course, you're saying they're just animals. You're literally saying they're just animals. It's excluding somebody on the basis of their culture, their heritage.
You're right about that. Martin Luther King's wife and son were vegans. Sad to say, her point, while completely valid, would be a touchy point in America. It is a touchy point, but it's still valid, and you should use it. Yeah, you should use it. I remember I was bringing up this point with a black person one time, and they were getting all offended, and I didn't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Who cares if you're offended by the truth? Even though black people are largely more lactose intolerant and likely to get sick from animal foods. Yeah. You know, people pull out all the excuses, and in some cases, they'll pull out the race card as well and try to use the race card as an excuse. And I said this to the girl that I was dating at the time because it happened in front of her. She at the time was a brand new vegan, and she was like, wow, that got kind of intense. And I was saying, you know, like when people play the race card, they expect the race card to work. And in that case, he was against me. And I don't care about the race card at all. At all. Wrong person to bring up. Wrong person to try to use the race card on. I do not care.
It's how they look, how they speak, how they're different. And it's exactly what you're doing to the animals on the basis of their species. It's not just color. But this is a different species. And they have a different color, a different culture, a different animals. Every animal species is oppressed because you're using them as commodities, as slaves. Do you think that animal here is free? Can you look into her eyes? This cow, are you blind? I'm sorry for spitting. Are you blind? This cow.
That cow was oppressed for 500 years.
Well, she's not 500 years old, but I'm guessing that you understand that since the dawn of time, we have been oppressing other animals. Yes.
It's the wickedness of man. So are all men treating cows that way?
All non.
Well, you are.
And men are wicked, yes.
Oh no, sorry. Can I cut it? Sorry.
You are oppressing and enslaving animals just the same way that we used to oppress and enslave black people.
Thank you, Rafaela, for not being afraid to say it. Because, like, I know people that would be just like timid to say this to a black person. It makes no sense. You would say it to a white person, so why would you be timid to say it to a black person? Don't be afraid, you know, to say something that is true just because you're scared that the liberal police will come after you. If it's true, it's true.
The sperm inside the cow.
Yeah, you're paying
Just,
for that.
just what I'm saying though is really just have confidence in your position because you are right. And if you're right, you're right. And okay, like there are certain instances where maybe you should use some tact. I remember we were talking, Wayne and I were talking about how I thought it was a big mistake. So years ago, some activists from Direct Action Everywhere got up and disrupted Kamala Harris's talk or something. And Wayne ended up apologizing for that. And I thought, why? Why should Kamala Harris be off the hook because she's a woman of color? Like they disrupted Bernie. They like what was the thing? So I completely disagree with the apology. And then he did at one point tell me, oh, it was like a talk about, I don't know, something. I was like, where I was like, I don't know, like the context made it a little, like it might have been a little more that you should have tact over certain things. But still, I take that back. I take it back. She should have been disrupted. Who cares? Care what? Just woke up to Jeremy Lowe being racist. Indeed, Kane. I thought you were asleep. I thought I could talk about this stuff. I thought you were. I didn't think. Guys, I'm sorry. Kane's here. I'll be quiet. No, see what I mean? Like that's what like a lot of people would be like. Wait, Kane, but Kane's black. I can't say something about this. Like ridiculous. This is why I dislike intersectionalists within the vegan movement. Yeah. I mean, race card's a cheap shot attempt. Meat is an addiction. They kill over 88 billion land animals a year and 2 trillion sea creatures. Yeah, like 1 to 3 trillion every year. Every year. And we've got people being timid about comparing it to slavery or the Holocaust. It'd be like, you know, the same thing could be said like, should I not bring up the word the Holocaust with someone who's Jewish? Yes, you should, especially to someone who's Jewish. Compare it to the Holocaust, especially. And I say that as someone who has Jewish family lineage. Say it.
Nearly always artificially inseminated, and even if they're not, they are still forced to sex. They're forced to reproduce. Their children are taken away. They're enslaved. They're sent into abattoirs. They're torn into pieces just so ignorant folks like you can put their dismembered bodies into their mouth holes. And now you come up with this for women giving up sex for free. How is that a justification to put your arm and into animals? How is that a justification for slavery? You're a racist towards animals. Do you realize that?
No, can I say something?
They're just animals. They're just black people. They're just women. They're just Asians. They're just animals. I can compare everything. Yes, because the thing that we have.
I think it was Kamala. I'm pretty sure it was Kamala. Well, she's been a U.S. senator for a long time, Kane. Yeah, she was a candidate for president, I believe, several election cycles before the last election cycle. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right, Hyperlink. I know. Veganism is a white supremacist diet. Yeah, there are people who have said that with a straight face, like being completely serious. And I'm like, you know, like a lot of early veganism could be, you know, I'm not an expert on really much of anything. But you could trace some of it back, right, to like early Buddhism and Eastern philosophy, right? But yeah, it's a white thing. Pretty sure like the world is less vegan because of white people. I don't think that's controversial to say. Probably is,
that
though.
we believe, do you know, you can have dominion in love. If I am dominant, if I am dominant over you or you, if I'm stronger than you, okay.
If a man decides to rape a cow, that's the wickedness of him.
You are wicked, exactly.
If I decide to have 2 cows and let them do their thing, I'm not.
But that's not what happens in the industry. And even if that were, you're still touching her teeth. You're taking away her child, even if she naturally becomes pregnant. At the end of the day, you use her as a slave. If you have dominion over someone, then you can be a courageous shepherd, a kind, humane one. You wouldn't do this to humans. You are against slavery and racism. You are a slaver and a racist towards animals. You are an animal abuser. Have a great vegan day. Hi, I'm the militant vegan, and I'm here with Awakening Compassion.
She shut it down. She was like, I'm done with this bullshit. I wonder if this was all from the same day.
Letitia at Trafalgar Square in London. Letitia, why are we here today?
They're in London, not Amsterdam.
So today we are with Awakening Compassion. So it's to promote a veganism lifestyle and of course to help people.
You guys got another video? What should we watch next? We've done 2 militant vegan. Ebionites are Hebrews. Gospel of the I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct. Ebionites is also known as the Gospel of the Hebrews. Gotcha. Oh, hyperlink. The Ebionites were said to be black, if I'm not mistaken, hence the name. Gotcha. But they were some of the earliest disciples of Christ, according to that story, and they were vegan. Interesting.
To turn on a plant-based diet too, in a peaceful way. Yeah.
So is it enough to just be vegan?
No, not at all, because we've got a animal holocaust. Some people don't like the word, but I don't want to offend everybody, but it is an holocaust.
It is.
The number of animals killed is tremendous. There are trillions of animals being killed unnecessary for something human beings do not need. Yeah, so of course being vegan is not enough. Animals need our voice because they.
Just real quick, if someone is getting offended because you called what happens to animals a holocaust, it says way more about them than it says about you. So just absolve yourself of any guilt for saying the word. There is nothing wrong with using that word. It's very appropriate to use that word, in my opinion. I will grant that we can have differing opinions. I think that this is a pretty safe crowd, so it's not like I'm taking any kind of stand. I think we pretty much all agree with that. But I know that there are people who disagree. And fine, then speak how you want to speak. It's okay.
Cannot stand up for themselves, so they need all of us. So please, even if you're non-vegan and you love animal, be active, and we can help you to transition. So you know what I mean. But we need more people on the street and online activists also, signing petitions, sending emails. That's very important.
Exactly. We have to use our voice for the voiceless, because we have the human privilege that we are not encaged, we are not enslaved in these industries. The animals cannot make signs, hold them up, but we should raise our voices for them. Thank you so much for your work.
That's it. Yeah, oh, that was very good. Well done. Thank you.
Unless you have something more to say.
Oh yeah,
you can say anything.
Awakening Compassion is on in that place. Yeah, so in front of National Gallery Museum twice every month. So every second Saturday and the last Saturday of every month from 1:30 to 3:30, and we all go for a drink after. So please join us. Is an ideal for new activists because it's very peaceful.
Awesome. And if you have any questions concerning veganism, you can also show up here or go on the website an3x.org and watch the movie Dominion. I like the team here a lot. You can bring your own signs. You can wear.
Oh, she didn't listen to me. She didn't give that guy Dominion, the documentary. Remember? I put it in her head retroactively. I went back. I told her. She didn't listen.
Animal clothing. As long as you approach people to be vegan, you will have a good time here and do something very, very, very important for the animals. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Watch Dominion on an3x.org. Okay, I don't know that website, but that's all right. Yeah. Intersectionalism. Yeah, it is it's been a problem. It has been a problem in the animal rights movement. Kane defends animals. My parents claim loads of vegans are racist and thought they were above criticism because they play the race card. Like I said, I feel like when people play the race card, they expect it to work. Just watch the meltdown occur when it doesn't work. It's something to behold. The Roman Church covered it up, labeled them heretics. Intersectionalists are why the right calls veganism an NWO conspiracy, even though corporations largely own meat production. Be on guard so that your hearts do not become heavy with the eating of flesh and with the intoxication of wine and with the anxiety of the world, and that day come upon you suddenly. For as a snare it will come upon all who dwell upon the surface of the earth. Wow. Intersectionals are angry at you for your latest video. What was your latest video that they got angry about? If it makes them angry, maybe we should play it. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to stir shit up. I'm not. Oh, was it the video camera one? Why are they butthurt? What is it? I remember that video now. Oh, it's a short. Oh, I think I might have seen it. Is it the one where you said, if you're feminist, you can't be a feminist? Just exactly what Raphael was saying. Okay, let's take a look. I think I've seen it, but let's watch it. Oh, uh-oh. Why I'm now an intersectional. Uh-oh. You went right at him. Hey, listen, Kane, if you're going to come right at them, you can't expect them to not be mad.
Yo, Wagwan, Kane defends animals here. And speaking of defending animals, not only am I going to be defending human animals, from now on, I'm going to also be defending non-human animals because humans are animals too. And I am now an intersectional. Yo, here are 3 reasons why, right? So obviously, number 1, we need to start being more inclusive of human rights issues because if we don't, that would be maladaptive to creating safe spaces. And I've been listening to some feminists, right, talk about this evil patriarchy that is controlling everything, including the animal rights movement, yo. They were talking about the issue of free the nipple, right, and thumb, yo. If the reason why we're not seeing women in the animal rights movement come to animal rights events topless is because of this evil patriarchy, it needs to be smashed with a quickness, yo. Man wants to see some titties blood, yo. So reason number 2, right, is because of white supremacy, right? Here's how white privilege exists in the animal rights movement. So obviously, when an animal rights activist or an animal rights org gets a big donation, that's obviously bad, right? Because if they only did it for a little bit of money, that would be good. And here's how that's white privilege. So whenever a black person gets a neck knelt on by a police officer, obviously you got to say Black Lives Matter, post your black squares, listen to the voices of POC, and donate to POC, right? You probably see where this is going. So next time a black person gets a neck knelt on, you lot are all going to listen to those intersectionals, listen to the voices of me, and listen to the voices of POC and donate to POC, which obviously is bad. And the white people who aren't going to be donated to, that's good for them because they're only doing activism for a little bit of money. White privilege, yo. And reason number 3 why I'm becoming an intersectional is because my former friend now, who is a white cishet male, recently criticized, he dared and had the audacity to criticize this intersectional for being a narcissistic, manipulative liar. Right? And that intersectional then turned around and said, oh, you're only angry at me because I'm a trans woman. And that inspired me, yo. From now on, I'm going to act like a manipulative, narcissistic liar. And if anyone criticizes me, I'm just going to turn around and say, that's just because I'm black. Haha, you're a white supremacist. Checkmate, yo. What? Obviously, April Fools, yo. Don't become an intersectional.
Oh,
The
you got
non-human
me.
animals deserve movement for themselves. That's not clouded by human rights, yo. April Fools, yo. Man's just fucking around. Yo, Wagwan, King
Who got
Defends
mad?
Animals here.
I don't
And
see it in
speaking
the
of defending
comments.
animals, not only am I going to be defending human animals, from now on, I'm going to also be defending non-human animals because humans are animals too. And I am now an intersectional. Yo, here are 3 reasons why, right?
Why doesn't it give me the ability to
obviously,
write?
number 1, we need to start being more inclusive of human rights
Damn it.
issues because if we don't, that would be maladaptive to
I would
creating
like
safe
to
spaces.
leave a comment,
And
please.
I've been listening to some feminists, right, talk
Share
about
my
this
disgust.
evil patriarchy that is controlling everything, including the animal rights movement, yo. They
They're
were
not letting
talking
me do
about
it.
the issue of free the nipple, right, and thumb, yo. If the reason why we're not seeing...
Well, if someone could leave a comment on my behalf, letting Kane know how offensive that was to me, that would be great. It won't let me scroll, Jedi. I don't understand. Doesn't let me. Hang on, let's try this. Highlight that so it's on there.
Mother's Day hypocrisy
work.
exposed.
Didn't
yo.
work.
How would you feel if I told you that on Mother's Day and all year round, innocent babies are being torn away from their mothers on your behalf? It's called the Animal Holocaust. Watch Dominion on YouTube for the truth. If you're not vegan, you are responsible for mothers and fathers, if they weren't already murdered, being raped and their babies being kidnapped from them so you can drink the milk intended for them. This is the case in all industries. And yo, Wagwan, King Defends Animals
right.
here. And
Here's
speaking
that
of
video.
defending animals, not only am I going to be defending human animals, from now on, I'm going to also be defending non-human animals because humans are animals too. And I am now an intersectional. Yo, here are 3 reasons why, right? So obviously, number 1, we need to start being more inclusive of human rights issues because if we don't, that would be
Don't see that,
maladaptive
right?
to creating
I'm
safe
not crazy.
spaces. And
I'm not
I've
able
been
to-
listening
I
to
can't
some
scroll.
feminists, right, talk
No
about
comment.
this evil patriarchy that is controlling
Can't do it.
everything, including the animal rights
Well, that's
movement,
fine.
yo. They were talking
Maybe I have to
about
do
the
it from my
issue
phone.
of free the nipple, right, and thumb, yo. If the reason why we're not seeing...
What should we do next, y'all? What should we do next? Sorry, I just got real close. I think we just lost viewers. That happens when I go get bigger here. All right. What do y'all want to watch? We can do a few more. Movements that weaponize race always get mad when their kind go against the grain. Isn't that the truth? Everybody go sub to Kane Defends Animals if you're not already. Oh yeah, Alex Hershaft. Yep. And that video, I mean, that book, Eternal Treblinka, is great too. Or just point to the many Jewish animal rights activists who talk about the Holocaust. Thank you, Hyperlink. Okay. Well, I grant you permission, Hyperlink. Jim Lettuce. Is that your buddy Gemma? Gem Lettuce? That's 269. Jim Lettuce. Animal rights activists creating content to spread and promote veganism. Never heard of them before. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to go to popular videos. Preachy vegan gets called out for being sensitive. I think I've seen her before. Well, let's react to one of these. Man destroys. Vegan owned by 12-year-olds. Hang on. Where's my... There we go. Okay, we'll do the one that... We'll do the one that you recommended. Hang on. Sorry, I'll get myself off the screen here in a second. I know it's disturbing. Man loses it.
I can't be educated. I don't like your attitude now. I can't be educated about every single issue. No, you can't be. Don't tell me like you're not educated. If you only focus on only one thing, you're not an activist.
Wait. Gem Lettuce. Let me put that up on the screen.
Do you want to say like plants don't feel? Yes. No, wrong, totally wrong. Why do you oppress the animals? Need to wake up. There is animal oppression in Palestine. You are lying to yourself. Google, right? Educate yourself. You shut up. I can change my clothes. I can use.
This one got heated. He reacted to her the way that I was wanting to react to the other person. Just shut up, shut up, shut up, shut your mouth. And thank you.
Use the loo. I can clean myself up. All right. All these. All right. Yeah. I can do it myself. They can do it. We have many different abilities. Yes. Yeah. So we are. Our abilities are higher than their abilities. So we are actually much more better. But this doesn't mean, right, between even human beings, right? I'm a doctor. You are a student, right? It doesn't mean like I'm better than you. You could be. I'm saying, for example. Okay. Right. Yeah. I'm saying, for example. Yeah. Right. All right. I'm a doctor and you're a cleaner. Right, okay. You are a doctor and I'm a cleaner, so it doesn't mean like you are better than me or I'm better than you. Yeah, I agree. Right. Just everybody has got like different intellectual way. Anti-oppression. But we all like belong to the human beings. What I'm trying to say, like you are focusing on animals abuse, right? And I agree with you and I respect your cause and I see like
something tells me he doesn't respect our cause, guys. I feel like he doesn't respect it, and I think that's about to be expressed. Sorry, let me try to clean up my tabs. I've got so many. I have too many tabs. Okay. Okay, this is much better.
10 of you out, right, to do this, taking time of your life, time of your lazy day. Sunday, I always call it lazy day, either hangover or sleeping in bed or...
This guy's already talked my head off. For 1 minute and 15 seconds, I don't think we've heard from her.
Vegan family. Yes. So you took this all for your cause. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you.
But did you think about the abuse happening to human beings?
Did I think about it? Well, I'm here to speak out for the animals.
Animals only.
The animal
right.
victims.
But I would say it like, you know, if you want to think about this, right?
Mhm.
I don't know which camera is here.
Yeah,
right?
this one.
Right. Think about what's happening in Palestine, right? They are since 360 days, I think now, right? And every day Israel are killing, right, people there, regardless of religion or anything. They are killing anybody who's not.
So what does that have to do with what she's there to speak about? I mean, does this guy think that they're like the protests over that conflict have been raging? Like there are way more people protesting what's happening in the Middle East than there are speaking up for animals. So does he think he's identifying a problem like, oh, it's a shame that we have like a handful of animal activists speaking up for the animals?
A Jewish every day, like, you know, you see, go online and sign, the massacres are happening every day, every single day, like against children who are helpless, right? Against elderly who are helpless.
And another point could be, you know, dude, right now she's speaking up for animals and you're not speaking up for anyone. Well, I mean, I guess you technically are right now to an animal activist, but if you wanted to be protesting what's happening in the Middle East, you could be doing that right now. You know, you could organize a protest about that, but you're not. You know, I'm not saying you don't do that. You might attend protests, but right now you're at an animal rights demonstration, a cube. So
against disabled people who are helpless as too, right? So is it worth to think about human beings who feel and be in pain and they
excellent exercise of patience on Jem's part.
feel lost, or think about more about animals?
I mean,
I'm gonna leave this with you, right?
Oh, can I not respond?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm saying like, yeah, I'm gonna leave this to you and think about it later.
Yeah. So for me, I would say the answer is no, for the simple reason that there are billions of non-human animals killed every year. That is nothing compared to what's happening to humans. This is the biggest Holocaust ever.
This is the Holocaust.
And also, oh yeah.
Yeah. And what's happening in Palestine now is Holocaust.
Is also bad.
Is it Holocaust or not?
I don't really know very much what's happening.
So now you are biased,
Oh,
right?
boy.
To some side, all right? I don't like your attitude now. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You know why? Because if you are educated enough and living in this universe, all right, you would know what's happening in Ukraine is happening now in Palestine.
I can't
right?
be educated about every single
you can't
issue.
be now, news on Apple on Palestine enough and living in this universe, all right, you would know what's happening in Ukraine is happening now in Palestine.
Did we was there a jump cut or something? Like how did we get on Ukraine?
I can't be educated about every single
you can't
issue.
News
No.
now, news on Apple,
I
Apple
can't be.
phone news.
I'm an animal rights
on the
activist.
news now.
I give my time
This is
to the
life.
biggest.
No, this
the
is
biggest
life.
Holocaust.
Like, you know, if you are walking in the street, you see like, you know, an incident.
Yeah, and again, there's just a handful of animal activists. Unfortunately, we're not massive in numbers. It's obviously more than a handful. There are chapters of, like, she's at an anonymous for the voiceless cube right now, and there's chapters of AV all over the world, thankfully. But yeah, there's definitely fewer animal activists than there are human rights activists, by far. So yeah, she's not the problem. And I think the problem here is that you're triggered because you abuse animals and you contribute to that. So that's what's happening here. And now you want to nitpick over the word Holocaust. Okay.
You will be aware of it. If you watch TV, you find them on TVs. If you go to YouTube, you find them on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, on all social media, it's there. Don't tell me like you're not educated. You can educate yourself, but if you want, there are.
No, I'm sorry. Dude, you just cited Facebook and social media as being educated on a global conflict, like a regional conflict. You think you're an expert on the Middle East because you saw a fucking Facebook video. That is a big problem we have. You can be educated. You can go on Twitter and Facebook and see what all your friends are posting about Palestine. And that makes you an expert. And certainly not biased one way or the other, right? No.
Our animals, right, are killed in Palestine now.
Yeah,
animals.
absolutely.
Why didn't you speak about for them? Speak up for them. Have you seen videos of cats are stranded under a big, massive, destroyed building, all right?
Yeah.
And people who are saving lives, right there, they went through the rubbles, right?
This
to
is like
get a cat out.
amazing amount of deflecting from what she's there to speak about. Amazing
You think about,
amount.
but this is as well cruelty.
Absolutely.
So why didn't you see this game?
I am trying to promote veganism, right? Which
Okay.
is against animal oppression. If
This
you-
is animal oppression happening in Palestine now.
Yes, exactly.
Dogs and cats and cows.
Exactly.
And, they have bombed, right? A big, massive barn of cows, right?
Yeah, you know what? She doesn't bomb people, but you eat animals. You see the issue here, right, dude? She doesn't contribute to what's happening in the Middle East. It has nothing to do with her. What she has control over is what she puts in her face. Just like you. It's the same amount. You know, like, I can't with these people. I can't do it. Help me, guys. Help me get through the video. She has like an amazing amount of patience to be listening to this.
Right?
Yeah.
They have bombed it. They're all killed there. Did you see them?
Yeah,
His
there are
horses.
elephants in Turkey, being abused, camels in Turkey.
Okay, why
There
didn't-
is so much abuse because I'm trying to get to the mindset.
So if you get a shed light on everywhere, all right, you will be activist. But if you only focus on only one thing, you're not an activist.
No,
you need
because
to educate yourself.
hang on, I'm trying to get to the
This guy thinks that he's educated. Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah. I remember when I was reporting with public radio and I was hearing about the conflicts in the Middle East for over a decade. I was not an expert, trust me. And I would hear about it every day for hours. And was I an expert in even the slightest bit? No, I was not. They talked about it for hours every day. You know what they didn't talk about? What we do to animals. So I've heard way more about what happens in the Middle East, trust me, than I heard about animal agriculture, which is that many stories. That's how many stories I heard about animal agriculture during my 15 years as a reporter. Zero stories.
the root of the problem, right? Which is the mindset. So people have this mindset that non-human animals, they're here to be used by us in whatever way that we.
I mean, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little. I saw a handful. Like, yes, there were reports in Eastern North Carolina about the pig farms and the lawsuits. It was always from the human angle. There was a lawsuit because it was, they were spraying shit into people's yards and people sued. And good for them for suing. But of course, the reason they were covering it was because it affected people. It had nothing to do with the animals. And then, like, I cite very many times that story that I did hear on the BBC really late at night that was talking, it was like overnight BBC story talking about the climate impacts of beef or something like that. And yeah, okay. So, I mean, I really can't think of much more than that I heard. I don't think I did hear anything beyond that.
We can.
What about plants?
I think that is
you
wrong.
use plants.
Oh, come on.
Do you want to say like plants don't feel?
Yes.
No, wrong, totally wrong. You need to educate yourself again.
With what pain receptors?
No.
With what nerve endings?
They got their own style of nerves. right? It's not like every level. Do you think animals like can think like and can speak up? No, I told you.
Animals, they can think.
They can think, but they can make the right choice.
I mean, they don't have moral agency.
That's what I'm saying.
The difference.
That's what I'm saying. So even even trees, they feel us. Even trees.
Oh
Don't
God,
tell me like
this
nothing.
guy.
This is like a thing.
Kane, why did you do this to us? Do you hate me, Kane? Kane's getting me back for being racist. That's what happened. Kane came back from, he was sleeping. Kane was asleep. He overheard his racism alarm went off. He could hear it. He could hear me being racist as fuck. And he sprang up and he said, what am I going to do to that, Jeremy? I'm going to send him the most annoying guy ever to walk up on a cube.
Thing. If you cut the
Well
roots
played,
for this tree,
Kane.
it will die.
I concede defeat.
So it's got feelings.
No, it's alive. Just because
Same exactly.
it's not the same as sentience.
So
it's not
you're
the same
biased
as
to
sentience.
only one thing. Anyway,
No, it's science.
I'm just saying thank you so much for being in the street, right?
Yes.
No, she is here to speak for the animals. It's called like being focused. That's the whole point of the demonstration. She's not trying to get derailed and diverted into other topics. It's happening. Of course, she's not really saying a lot. She's just sort of letting you talk yourself in circles. But
fantastic people.
Are you vegan?
No, I'm not. I'm vegetarian.
So what?
That's the issue. Sorry. Innocent guy just pops
Why
up.
do you oppress the animals?
Oops. Oh, you oppress the animals, and that's the issue. That's why you're all triggered, right? Because you're vegetarian and not vegan. So now it's, look at the body language. I got us on pause. Now it's easy. Wait.
I'm a vegetarian person.
Yeah, so you buy cow's milk?
No, I have soya milk. All right. This is my.
Are you like pure vegetarian?
Yes, I am vegetarian. All
So
right.
you don't eat eggs from chickens, or go to zoos, or?
I don't like eggs myself
Okay.
because when I was young, I have been poisoned
Yeah. Okay.
by eggs, right?
Yeah.
So I stopped eating it totally. But I'm a vegetarian. Like I go get margarita pizza.
Oh. So because you like a margarita pizza, so cows have to suffer. Okay, got it.
Whatever it is. But
so that's cheese.
Educate yourself, right? I mean, but she needs to educate herself. So that's cheese from a cow. Yeah.
From a cow.
I don't know what is there, right?
Uh-huh.
But the problem is you didn't educate yourself. Is that it? You didn't go on Facebook? Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Trying to tell me like you don't even eat cheese from the cow.
I don't eat cheese from a cow. It's dairy.
From where?
Have you seen what happens to dairy cows?
I don't see, but I'm.
Oh, but yeah, maybe you should educate yourself, right? Isn't that what you told her? That's rights activist. He's just exploiting the animals' suffering for his political agenda. If he actually cared about the animals, he'd criticize the Palestinians. What aboutism? 100. But he doesn't actually care about the animals. And to be honest, he really doesn't care about the Palestinians either. If we're being real about it. This is just a fashion. I can wear the label, I can wear the costume of someone who cares. I can't be inside of his head, but I know a lot of people like this. And it's just, what's the latest fashion? What's the latest thing that we protest that causes us nothing, that costs us nothing in our lives? We don't have to do anything but post on Facebook. Nothing.
Just trying to divert me to a different cause, right?
No,
You're at the cube. You're at her demonstration. Yes, she's trying to talk to you about the thing that she's there to talk about that you apparently walked up to.
Here to speak to
No,
animals.
I am speaking to you like if you want to shed a light on animal abuse, think about the animal abuse happening in Palestine.
I think about animal,
human abuse.
Yeah, she cares about the animal abuse. So it doesn't get a pass in Palestine.
One second, one second.
I've got time, right?
I'm trying to tackle the root of the course, right? Which is this whole mindset that we are okay to abuse
I'm
animals.
trying to tackle your mindset as well, right?
What
I'm sorry
mindset?
if I'm using my hands, but I'm autistic.
Which mindset?
So this is
Which mindset? Because
right?
I'm against oppression.
Right, I'm against oppression, but the oppression is happening in Palestine.
But you're paying for oppression.
You should
I'm not
speak
paying
about
for
it.
oppression.
No, you should
I'm
speak
not
about
paying for
You should
Palestine.
Thank you for saying that, Jim. Yeah, you're not paying for that. Yeah, I mean, sure, the government's probably taking your taxes. There ain't shit you can do about that, okay? They're taking your taxes and using it on whatever they want, including animal agriculture, by the way.
I'm not paying for...
Right, you should speak up.
Bombs in animal agriculture, right? So should she then give the government her money through taxes, which she's not giving, it's just taken from her, right? Actually, I don't know like where she is, if this is the UK. I don't know how taxes work in the UK. But in America, the taxes are gone. They take them from you, okay? And then every time around this time of the year, we have to fill out our taxes, and sometimes we owe more. Sometimes we get money back, but that's because they took too much in taxes from us, right? So, yeah, so should she, with her money, give the government all that money to support animal agriculture and bombs, and then also pay for more animal exploitation? Obviously not. And neither should you, for that matter, when you love your margarita pizza and you go get a pizza, which is give me a break. Give me a break. Virtue signaling is so strong in people. There's some odd people who claim they just identify as vegan, then gave 1,000 excuses why they actually aren't. Did he say that? Did he say he identifies it as a vegan? I don't think he did.
Right, okay, for animal oppression all over the world, not only like whatever he calls it, right? You need to think about animal oppression happening in Ukraine.
She's not causing it. So now she needs to think about animal exploitation in Ukraine happening in Palestine.
In Palestine, right? Israeli are killing Palestinian people and Palestinian animals. Guys, need to wake up. Stop. Wake up. Thank you.
I'm trying to get...
Wake up, please.
I'm awake.
No.
You're paying for cows to be raped.
After I go, when you go home, right, try to do some search about animal abuse happened in Palestine.
I don't pay for Palestinians to be oppressed. You pay for animals to be oppressed.
Listen, go online, all right? Go online, all right, and find, all right, about Palestine.
I'm not responsible
No,
for
you
that.
are responsible if you go.
I don't pay for it.
No,
you
if
pay
you
for
are
cows to be
activist, if
abused.
you.
Oh, she's responsible for what's happening in Palestine. Yeah, yeah. Well, damn, Jem, shame on you. Look, she's even smirking. Look, so you do that. Jem is responsible. Glad we got to the bottom of it. Now we know. Now we know why there's conflict in the Middle East. Yeah, I was wondering about that, 20 years ago. 30 years ago, 40 years ago. 40 years old, still not an expert. He's an expert, though. Yeah.
Classing yourself as an activist.
I'm an animal rights activist.
No, if you are activist, right, you go.
Animal rights activist.
Think about Palestine. What's happening in Palestine?
I'm an animal rights activist.
And there is animal oppression in Palestine.
I don't oppress Palestinians.
You are lying to yourself. You are biased. No, there is animal oppression in Palestine as well. Google, right? Educate.
Yeah, and there's animal oppression right in front of her, and you're doing it. So maybe she should focus on the people who are right in front of her. Yeah, maybe. Huh. What's that face? No, not Family Guy thing. Remember when? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. When Stewie. This, oh God. Y'all, this is going to be great. Just wait. Letting the ad play first. Letting the ad play. And then we'll have that novel you're working on. This is quite good. I hope I don't get some kind of, I don't know how you get the warnings anymore. This is just quick. Hopefully it'll be fine. We'll see.
Brian, I can't believe you're going to be on The Bachelorette.
And free food before they kick.
How you coming on that novel you're working on? Huh? Got a big stack of papers there? Got a nice little story you're working on there? A big novel you've been working on for 3 years? Huh? Got a compelling protagonist? Yeah? Got a obstacle for him to overcome? Huh? Little story brewing there? Working on that for quite some time, huh? Yeah, talking about that 3 years ago. Yeah, been working on that the whole time. Nice little narrative, beginning, middle, and end. Some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends. Yeah. At the end, your main character is richer for the experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to no. You deserve some time off.
Oh man, it was funnier in my head when I saw this years ago. I thought he got real high. He didn't get that high. I thought he got much higher. Damn it. Oh well, still funny, Stewie. Still funny. Thank you.
Get yourself.
I don't oppress them. You oppress them.
She's just like she's thinking only about what we are here. She doesn't think about what's happening in Palestine.
He's like yelling in public now to some random. Is she just part of the protest or what?
It is animal as well. I'm not speaking about human beings. Shut up.
Yo, don't
right?
me like
You
that.
shut up. I'm speaking here. You shut up.
Hey, Kane's there. That's Kane.
She doesn't think about what's happening in Palestine. Again, it's animal as well. I'm not speaking about human beings. Shut up.
Yo, don't
right?
me like
You
that.
shut up. I'm speaking here. You shut up. Okay?
Shut up, Kane. Kane? He's talking here. Some intersectionals literally claim that Palestinians oppressing animals is directly caused by what Israel is doing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool story. Cool story.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking about animal oppression in Palestine. Did you speak about it? No, I'm not lowering my voice. I speak whatever I like. No, I'm not going. No, I'm gonna speak.
Jim's cool. I like Jim.
Whatever I want.
We don't need to be shouting.
No, I'm saying because no. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue. The issue I'm trying to educate yourself about what animal oppression in Palestine does not recognize it.
He's talking about animal cruelty in Palestine. It's Palestine problem. Yeah, the government sorry, tell.
I'm here to speak for the animals, but he's mad that I'm not speaking for Palestinians.
Yeah, but you can't speak about the Palestinian. Okay, because you're not from there and you don't even know what is going on there.
Exactly. I mean, I'm asking people here today to go vegan and stop oppressing animals.
Yeah.
I'm not asking people.
I mean, she could speak about. I disagree with him. Like, if she is going to, she should educate herself about the topic. But she could speak out about that. I mean, you don't have to be an expert. Like, we're not all experts on animal ag. You can just look at the screen though, and you can tell that it's wrong. It's not that complicated. And then you should educate yourself more so you can talk to people effectively, so you know what's going on. But this is not rocket science, guys.
People to stop oppressing Palestinians because they're not oppressing Palestinians.
No.
We have no control on what's happening there.
Thank you so much for watching. If you think my work is valuable, please.
All right, that was good. Maybe we'll watch some more. Good recommendation, Kane. Olivia, the organizer, stepped in. Yup, you were there. You were there. That was good. Gem lettuce. Let's find another one. Make sure I'm subbed. Everybody make sure you're subbed to that channel, please. Gem lettuce. And go give her video some love. I bet you anything there are some people. I bet you there's some vegans that are triggered at her for that video too. Man destroys veganism with exceptional. Oh, okay. Well, that's a quick one. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, here's some welfare versus veganism. Let's try this. Let's check this out.
We eat animals because we have to
Vegan
survive.
clashes with animal welfareists in street debate. This should be interesting. This might be juicy for all of us animal activists here.
Do we?
Yeah, so
Do
we
we
need to have protein. We need to have eat protein from animals.
Can we get protein from other sources, like from plant-based foods?
Yeah,
So have you heard of veganism?
They're mad, Jedi.
veganism. I know that, but so I think we only eat the protein from plants can be enough for our to survive. You know, because I know a bit about nutrition. So the protein from plant-based is kind of different from the protein from animals.
Different in what sense? Do you think that we need animal protein though?
Yeah, we need to have both. So that would be very beneficial for us.
If that was true, how would vegans exist? Surely they would just die.
We won't directly die from not eating enough protein, but I think that would be more.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. 14 grams of protein in this bag of dry roasted edamame wasabi, including some protein that's stuck in my throat right now. I got so much protein that it's stuck in my throat. Oh, that sounded like weirdly dirty. Sorry. 14 grams. 3.5 serving sizes in this bag. It's like 60 some grams of protein in that bag. Think I'm getting enough protein.
I mean,
would be healthier if you take both.
there is no like health argument to eat animals because if you look at the NHS, the British and American, they're the largest dietetic associations in the world.
Yeah.
They all say that we can be healthy and we can thrive eating a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
So on that basis, what excuse
And by the
do
way,
we-
these are like conservative comments, really conservative statements put out that say, yeah, we can and thrive when in actuality, vegans end up, being generally much healthier than the general populace, of course.
we have to exploit and abuse other animals?
Yeah, that kind of
if we
makes
don't
sense.
need to.
I got you. So the way they treat animals, they slaughter animals, it kind
Oh
of
yeah, they were angry at our king.
kind of not good, you know. I've watched some videos online that
Big Ag will fall.
kill the pigs on the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Sea Point Farms. I hope it's a vegan company. I give them so much. I give them so much promotion on my massive channel. Let's hope they're good people. But these are just soybeans, guys. That's all it is.
That way it was kind of, very brutal.
Do you think that there is a nice way to kill animals if we don't have to kill them?
I saw someone kill animal by using electricity. So that way,
I'm doing a lot of cube videos today. There's just a lot of good content that comes out of these cubes.
Probably
Where's Felix? We don't see Felix today. Felix, our fellow cube organizer.
they're paying to.
Yeah, but I mean, if we don't have to kill them at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would like to say, but you can't control people's mind.
No, I ate this
No,
whole bag,
but you
too.
can control yours.
Yeah.
Plus what was left of the one that I started the last time. I've got like 75 grams of protein just from sitting here munching on these things with all of you. That's too much protein. I'm going to get too big. It's going to be intimidating. I'll be too strong.
What do you do?
I will. So if I would say, I would prefer to eat some like eggs, you know, so because we don't have to eat the animals when they grow very big.
Unfertilized eggs.
Yeah. They don't have their consciousness very fully.
Yeah.
So the way we kind of kill them is kind of not very.
So we don't kill eggs
Yeah.
because eggs, they're not fertilized. So it's like,
They're not fertilized.
you know, it's like their periods basically.
Yeah.
So we're against animal exploitation. So that means that we're against the commodification of animals and using them against their own interests.
Yeah.
So in the egg industry, what happens is the chickens, they're exploited. So they get forced to lay egg after egg after egg. They're selectively bred to produce more eggs than they're naturally supposed to. And that takes a toll on their body.
Yeah.
And then they get killed when their egg production has declined. They're just as exploited as the chickens that people eat.
Yeah.
The only difference is that
By the bean. By the bean. Bean by bean, I get too much protein. The Chinese invented seitan. Buddhist monks. Seitan is packed full of protein. Yeah.
they're alive for longer.
Yeah.
They have to be exploited
Yeah,
for
I saw
longer.
some dogs will only live for maybe 2 or 3 months and they will be slaughtered right away.
Who's that? Sorry, what animal?
Dogs.
Ducks. Yeah.
Most animals are killed like, you know, and very very young for them.
So that's why it's kind of unhumanic.
So would you say that you're all against animal exploitation?
Yeah, I'm kind of against that.
Yeah.
But I would kind of still eat animal.
Do you think that there's a
Yeah, I'm kind of against racism, but I'll still kind of be racism. Kane would probably agree with that. Sorry, Kane. Sorry to wake you up with my racist rant, but yeah, I'll kind of be sexist. Mary would probably agree with that comment. Yeah, I'll kind of still be Jedi knows. I'll just kind of still be shitty.
contradiction there? Do you think that you can really be against animal exploitation if you're funding their exploitation? Is what I'm trying to ask.
That's kind of makes sense.
Because if you're truly against something, then you want to avoid doing that, right?
Yeah.
So what would stop you from going vegan where animals aren't exploited on your behalf?
Probably will reduce the amount that I eat meat because I can't directly tell you I would not eat meat right away.
If you were in the animal's position and you were being exploited for your body parts, would you accept that excuse if somebody said to you, you know, I'm going to exploit you a little bit less? Or would you say, no, stop exploiting me now? You know, because if something's wrong, then it's wrong.
Yeah, for sure. No.
Because for every day that you're not vegan, animals will be being exploited, abused, and killed on your behalf.
Only me doing that cannot save out them.
Yeah, but you can save the ones that would have been killed on your behalf.
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of. I feel quite sorry about the way that they treat animals.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I just will reduce the amount I eat animals.
Sorry, not good enough.
The only thing I can do. I can change the way that the whole society works. Like
no, but you can change.
Actually, you can. You can change the way society works. One, by putting your money into a kinder world, that would start. And by being an activist, you can help to speed up this change faster. You can work on systemic change. You can work on individuals. You can do a lot So yeah, you can. You can, just like Jim.
Change what you do. You can either pay for it or you can choose not to. Because saying that you're going to reduce something.
Don't you think everything, all efforts that you're putting in will be in vain?
What do you mean?
Because
you feel like a bit helpless because it's still happening. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, sure, but yeah, remember that is like learned helplessness. That is this thing that is just hammered into us. How powerless we are. We are not. A handful of people can change the world. Yeah, so I mean, just look at the number of activists, right, that have gotten like Marc Jacobs to stop selling fur. Not that many. Not that many activists. A handful of activists. Just a few people can change the world with the right amount of determination, the right amount of focus. So, yeah. But, you know, we're all trained to be weak and submissive and docile and to believe that we can't do anything in our lives that will make even the slightest impact, and that keeps us in line.
So it's not happening because of you. So for example, if I don't burgle houses, burglaries are still going to happen. Human people, they are still going to be killed regardless of whether I kill them or not. But I'm not going to join in because I'm against that. You know?
I really want to change the way they treat the kill animal and how the pipeline works, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not the owner of the factory.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy who...
Yeah, so stop giving the owner of the factory your money. That would be a good thing to start with.
Set the rule of the capitalism.
Yeah.
This is how capitalism and the world works. So, because I would say, if we would like to protest, we would like to protest in the house of the factory owners. Change their mind.
Direct Action Everywhere just got sued by one of the executives of Purdue Farms for doing home demos. Just wanted to throw that in there.
We're a bit more effective than change others.
Yeah.
Than ordinary people, you know what
I mean, what they would say to that, they would say, well, we're only doing it because everyone's paying for it. We're going to carry on because this is what people want. They're giving us money.
Oh, if it wasn't clear, I am in favor of what DXC is doing. Just wanted to give a little plug to my friends at DXC.
To do it.
I think the kind of mild way.
The what, sorry?
Mild, a kind of modest way.
Okay.
Legal way to protest is probably to share the information more about how they actually kill the people to more people.
Yeah.
So that will help the mass to understand the situation that animals are experiencing.
But I mean, regardless of how they're killed, they're still being killed.
Yeah.
Would you rather be killed in the most brutal, horrible way? Would you rather have a good life and then be killed in your sleep? Or would you rather just be left alone and not killed at all?
If I was an animal, I definitely don't want to be killed.
Yeah, exactly.
To be food for human beings.
But you're paying for that to happen to them. Something that you wouldn't want for yourself.
Yeah, it sounds quite makes sense to me. But in another way, you would say, have you seen those animals eating?
I like him all right. I think it sounds to me like he's taking it real seriously. He's not dodging. He is in his head trying to think about how he can still do this, but I think he's starting to realize. Let's hope so.
Africa. So
wait, what?
Welcoming.
Oh no.
Those animals make sense to me. But in another way, you would say, have you seen those animals in Africa? So in wilderness.
Lions, though.
they kill animals because of the food chain.
Yeah, that's horrible too.
Yeah, strong animals kill the weak.
Yeah.
So that's how the.
And they also rape each other. But
Yeah, he's wrestling with it. Stephen, I view non-vegans as inauthentic versions of themselves. Who non-vegans are deep down is very different to the person who's had their values, principles, and worldviews bought by effective advertising. Yeah, that is correct.
we don't do that because we live in a civilized society. We have other options, and we have social awareness to know that that's bad. You know?
Yeah, they don't have options. But
they're acting out of instincts. We can think and we can rationalize. Not like them. So surely, if we know better, then we should do better.
Yeah, yeah.
So would you go vegan from now, or is there anything stopping you?
To be fair, I can't directly go vegan right now. But after you telling me so much about the way they kill animals, etc., I will try to be a vegan in the future. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah, and would
I'm
you
changing
accept?
my
Yeah,
mind.
I understand what you're saying, but just think about. Would you accept that if you were the animals? If you were in their position, you were being exploited, and somebody said, "I'll think about stop abusing you and exploiting you in the future," or would you say, "No, that's not good enough"?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Before you go, do you know the number one?
Hey, Stephen, could I react to your latest video about taking the Vegan Proud Challenge? I just noticed that you had your channel as well. I just asked because I don't want to embarrass someone if they don't want. But Stephen has a channel as well.
Benefit of going vegan? So for the animals, they won't be exploited and abused on your behalf.
Yeah.
And for you, you won't be a hypocrite because you.
So I don't know the word. What does it mean?
So when it's like when your actions and your morals don't align.
Yeah.
So when you say I'm against animal abuse, there won't be a contradiction, you know, and you can be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set those animals free.
I'll give you this.
Yeah.
It's got some more information and resources on there.
Yeah, I will check that out later.
Okay.
If you've got this far, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my channel members, patrons, and supporters who help.
Nice. Thanks for that recommendation, Kane. That's Jim Lettuce. Here's the link to her video. That was awesome. She's great. I feel like I've definitely seen her before, so I've probably watched a few of her videos, or I've seen her through you, Kane. All right, let's react to our friend Steven here. Share this tab. Taking the Vegan Proud Challenge. Let me put up on the screen. Spurs. Kane probably fell asleep. Probably did. It's so late in the UK.
And I think we're good to go. Well, first I'd like to say, because it's been a long time since I've made a video, hello, fellow VFFs, hello, fellow super fans, and hello, everyone else. So, I know it's been a while, but I finally got my whole phone situation sorted out with my SD card that was causing me problems, and I figured what better way to put out a new video than to do something like this.
I see Eternal Treblinka sitting on his bed.
And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be engaging in the hashtag why I'm proud to be vegan, or are you proud to be vegan? I'll have to look. I can't remember exactly
Great
what it was.
book.
But anyway, my good old friend Sky over at formerly vegan, of course, now just Sky Jack Morgan, has been asking fellow vegans if they're proud to be vegan, and if so, why. So I figured I would join in the fun. I mean, why not? I think I can answer this pretty well, and I'm going to do my best. Because when it comes to camera stuff, it's really hard to formulate your thoughts coherently, but I'm gonna try. So anyway, first I want to start off with, he had George Martin on his show a while back, and he asked George this question. And George's response at first was, I don't really think I can call myself proud to be vegan because I'm just doing the right thing. I'm not engaging in something morally abhorrent. And I don't think I deserve a pat on the back for just doing the right thing.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer.
You know what? He's not wrong on that. But it does go a little deeper than that. And that's what I'm going to try to explain or describe, whatever you want to call it. So, am I proud to be vegan? I absolutely am. And the reason why is from birth, even before birth, going back as far as our parents and their parents' parents and yada, 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 we all are born into a society and we're indoctrinated into the mentality that if you're not human, then you are a less than, you're a lesser than by tradition, which extends out and poisons all facets of society. And you're indoctrinated to believe that if you are not a human being, you are the superior dominant species on this planet. We see it everywhere. There's advertising. It's in people's mentality because of advertising and because of parents, because of friends, because of family members, etc., etc. So the reason why I'm proud to be vegan is because I was indoctrinated into that same society. I grew up, especially in the southern part of Oklahoma, where murdering fish, murdering deers, murdering all manner of free living beings is considered a hobby, a sadistic, fetishized hobby, but still a hobby or a sport nonetheless for a bunch of sickos. But it's more than that. We're indoctrinated to treat animals like food, like clothing. They're here to be tested on. They're here to be entertainment for us. They're here for any other human supremacist, speciesist, oppressive.
I am looking at the chat and I'm outraged. I'm outraged. You know what? I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. That's worse. I see what's happening. Outrageous. Mutiny. Although, to be fair, Mary, I feel like you are the one who sort of set a rule-breaking norm in my chats. So do you want to own up to your culpability in what's taking place right now? Because I know it's like when Eve ate that apple. Everything was chill. Everything was good. We had a nice vegan Garden of Eden. And then you, Mary, you did it. You started the whole chain of sin that is taking place in my chat right now.
Mental set of worldviews that you can think of. So for a person, and for me, especially me, who grew up indoctrinated into the Christian faith from a very conservative point of view, I do understand what indoctrination and brainwashing looks and sounds like, and I see it all the time with non-vegans, and I recognized it in myself. Somebody who grew up really, really loving animals. Most of the animals, I really can't think of an animal that I specifically hate other than some like parasitic insects that I might not fancy, but I'm not going to go out of my way to kill unless they're attacking me. I'll just leave those guys alone. But for the rest of the non-human beings on this planet, I can't really think of any of them that I specifically hate. I might dislike some a little more than others, but you know, they're all fascinating in their own way. They're all awesome. And I've always felt that way. As a matter of fact, even getting in trouble by like my grandma when I told her as a kid, I remember saying that I loved animals more than I loved humans, and she hated that coming from the Christian.
I mean, I think it's safe to say, Mary, that if there's a problem in my chat, it's definitely a woman who caused it. Yeah, I think we can blame women for all the problems, right? I know Steven and Jedi are the ones doing it, but somehow you're to blame.
Faith where you're taught that animals don't have souls, that animals are here to be dominated by human beings because we are put in charge of them and
Mary?
we are the #1 star.
Wait, you dislike chipmunks? Who dislikes chipmunks? Talk about outrageous. Chipmunks are adorable. They're like little baby squirrels. They're like cuter squirrels. Yeah. Now I know you're to blame.
Are on this planet.
Who dislikes chipmunks?
And even though I loved animals, I never really thought about my choices and the effect that those choices had on others until I got older, started thinking about things a little more. But it wasn't until I was 36 where I really started to question this. And at some point, I might put out my, vegan origin story.
You should.
But for now, I'm just explaining why I'm proud to be vegan.
Yeah.
So as I already explained, all of the
I was 34, Steven, so we're pretty much on a very similar timeline, you and me.
The brainwashing and the societal norms that go on with how human beings view their relationship to other individuals on this planet. For me to do the painful work of self-examination and introspection.
By the way, it's just been a very male-dominated chat lately. We've had some women in the chat, but I threw that out there almost as bait. If there are any women lurking in the chat, come to Mary's defense. I think you're lurking. They hoard peanuts and sunflower seeds, then they let them rot. Let them, Mary. Who deserves peanuts and sunflower seeds more than a chipmunk? I feel like when we eat them, like we're stealing them from chipmunks. Verdant Jedi, I'm a proud vegan. Culture, tradition, or religion doesn't justify animal abuse, and it has no hold on me. Yeah, I hate to like both sides it, but I agree with both Steven and with George. Yeah, I am proud to be vegan, but I also am not. Yeah, I'm proud of it, but I also agree that it really just should be the baseline. So I would say I'm proud to be vegan. Yes, I have some pride in that, but I am prouder to speak up for animals. And that's definitely, especially when I'm afraid, right? Like this is easy right here. I'm surrounded by friends, in my chat. Excuse me, friends in my chat. Even though they're mutinying right now, I know that eventually they'll go away. They will see that they miss me. They'll come back. But yeah, the times that I'm most proud of are the times when I was scared to speak up and I did it anyway. Because there have been a number of moments like that where I've just felt like timid or whatever. Yeah.
Especially the more that I learned to think about all of that and to think about where my values and basically where my values and my principles lie. I can't say that I love animals or like animals and then turn around and contribute to their enslavement, their objectification, their abuse, their murder. all of the horrible, morally abhorrent stuff that I was responsible for.
Yeah.
So for me to go through that process like every other vegan and come out the other side and align those actions with my values and my principles, to break through that at the expense of, you know, the scrutiny of society, the scrutiny of friends and family members that are not going to understand, or in some cases they will even actively go out of the way to maliciously troll you over a text message one day out of the blue.
Oh, did they?
For me to examine that and come to the conclusion that I need to not be a hypocrite.
I'm sorry, Mary. I will defend you. I will defend you from me. There will be times when I want to say something to you, and I will defend you. I will stop myself. You don't know how much I defend you, Mary. It's all the time. All the time I'm defending you from me.
And then to continue to educate myself, to break through that societal barrier of an oppressive mentality. I'm proud that I aligned my actions with my values and actually walk the walk. That I have never liked the exploitation of anybody. Even before I was vegan, I was against these injustices and similar injustices of being against slavery, being against, you know, being racist, being sexist, yada, 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 all of that stuff. But especially when it comes to non-human animals, to do those painful self-evaluations and stay true to that, because you understand just how vital and important it is to really honestly, intellectually critique your beliefs and your worldviews and your principles and come to the conclusion that you have a moral obligation to be vegan. I'm proud that I broke through that mass indoctrination, that mass brainwashing, that religious mentality, I consider the most prevalent religion.
Which, you know, and we've been watching so many cubes and we've seen so many people wrestling with it. It's a hard thing to do. Even though it seems like it should be easy, it's kind of, for some people, it's really hard to wrestle with that cognitive dissonance.
Religious mentality of all the religious mentalities, that the God that you worship is your ego, your taste buds,
Oh, wait. What's up, the real thing? Thank you for being here. What about when people say, I have no problem with you being vegan? Oh, really? No problem with me being against animal slavery and exploitation. Look at you being all tolerant and shit. Yeah, that's pretty well said. I like that. Yeah, look at you being all tolerant.
Your sense of
I think I'm
entitlement.
gonna borrow that the next time someone does that to me. I am gonna say, "Oh, look at you being all tolerant and shit."
Your level of convenience that you have as an oppressor.
But I will credit you. I will say that was copyrighted by the real thing. The real thing.
To question all of that and reject all of that, and to be an outcast in society, and like I said, to reject that religious belief. I'm proud that I broke through all of that. I'm proud that I call myself vegan, even if I disagree with a lot of vegans on what they consider veganism. I'm proud to be against societal acceptance of slavery because animals aren't human. I'm proud to be against the societal exploitation of non-human animals. But anyway, I could go on and on. But this makes me think of a post that I posted about 7 months ago that I'm going to, I guess, close out this video with. And I'm going to actually read it. And this is what I put long before Sky had that whole hashtag, are you proud to be vegan? I put in a community post, if you're vegan, you should feel proud and hold your head high, because even though it's a term for the animals, it also describes a specific set of values you, as an individual, possess to define your moral baseline. It also signifies that even though everyone is born into the same world where social norms do vary, you looked at and examined the one cultural norm everyone had forced on them, that humans are somehow superior to every other animal in existence, and that humans possess some inherent value that supersedes the value and moral worth of everyone else, and that we can use, rape, torture, enslave, and kill them at our discretion because we're supposedly superior. You, as a vegan, honestly and intellectually examine those cultural norms, even at the expense of feeling uncomfortable with engaging in that, and came out the other side taking a stand against your indoctrination, and decided words were not sufficient enough, and that your actions aligning with your words were what ultimately mattered to you as a person who values your integrity and consistency, justice, and equality. Are you perfect? Well, no, none of us are. Even though we might make mistakes from time to time, we don't let perfection be the enemy of good, because you understand that the least a person who possesses these values can do for trillions of innocent people who were unfortunate enough to be born into a world and societies of human supremacists is choose to be vegan, even sometimes at the expense of certain relationships with family and friends under threat. You still remain true to those values because they're not up for sale or compromise. Because of all these factors, be goddamn proud of who you are. And to quote George Carlin, he once said during his career that people claim to be proud of things all the time that they didn't do anything to earn, and that unless you had to work to earn something, you can't take pride in such things. As vegans, you've worked against the largest and most invisible form of indoctrination and status quo and rejected years of programming. You've earned the right to be truly proud. You're vegan, and that term is something to be proud of, not ashamed. To my legendary vegan friends and acquaintances, I love you all.
That was beautiful. Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than that was great. That was beautiful writing. Yes.
And I think that was well said, probably even better than how I tried to explain it at the beginning of this video, but I thought it was a good way to close out what I had to say.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just wanted to take the hashtag #AreYouProudToBeVegan challenge and try my best to coherently post my thoughts and feelings on why I, as a vegan, am proud to be vegan. Because I broke through that indoctrination and that social norm, the status quo, the norm being the problem. And I came out the other side as a vegan. And I hope all of you vegans feel the same, that you're at least proud to have broken through that societal indoctrination, that societal norm, and rejected.
You know, I like what you're saying, Stephen, too. And also, I don't say this just to pat us on the back. Like, I agree with what George is saying as well. But I will say, like, whenever you're feeling like shitty or something, you know, like, because we go through life feeling shitty all the time, you can at least say I'm vegan. You know, like, at least I'm not doing that. At least I'm not doing what that person's doing. And that should be at least a little pick me up, right? A little pep in your step, right? If you feel shitty someday, at least I am not paying for that god awful shit. And I speak out about it too, because everybody here is like, at least speaks about it.
Those traditions and this
At the very least in these chats, you know, like it's not nothing, you know, like it's awesome.
Status quo, and that you're challenging that. You're standing for justice. You're standing for truth, for just the basic decency of what an evolved, intellectually honest human being should be, and possessing the moral baseline of being vegan. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't fuck this up, but anyway, I love you all, and I hope to see you very
genuine too. I hope that video did well, because I feel like the videos where someone's just sort of pouring it out is, you know, let's get that some more views. I understand George's point. If we go by the literal sense, being vegan is a non-action, but being a voice, AAK activist, is helping to create change. There is something inspiring to get outside the social norms. Indoctrination, it takes a lot of work, courage, and strength. It's much tougher when you don't know anyone or have people around you with set values. I like that you hold your head up. Well said. Carrie, Jeffrey, friends of the channel. Great video. Here, I'll link to it. Everybody go give it some love. Subscribe to Steven. Yep. We all need a vegan flag. There's that video. Everybody, please do. You know, and I really like seeing, you know, like when someone's been a viewer of my channel and I may not have known them before, and then I click on their name and I find, oh, they've got content. So let's check it out. Like we've got videos, you know, we got stuff. Being a vegan might feel lonely, but you aren't alone.
So, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video while I'm waiting on my ride to the store to say that I know as a vegan, especially during the holidays, when you're for animal liberation, you're against the commodification, slavery, abuse, exploitation, and murder of the most innocent individuals on this planet.
By the way, Steven said he lives in Oklahoma, and yeah, I just sometimes people will try to use location as an excuse for not being vegan, even though Oklahoma is in America. I would imagine, like among the states that people live in, Oklahoma wouldn't be the most vegan friendly. So if Steven can do it, you can do it.
That we exist with, it can be a little lonely.
Jeremy,
I get it, and I know that's hard. That's hard, but you also got to remember you're not alone. There are other vegans out there. Even if not all vegans agree with or understand what veganism is, actually is anyway. But also remember that nobody is alone as the animals. If it wasn't for you vegans, the animals would have nobody. They would literally have nobody. So while it might suck to be alone because you're maybe ostracized from your friends or family for standing up for justice and doing the right thing and being on the right side of history, remember you're not alone. There are other vegans, and nobody will ever be alone as the animals. But I just wanted to take a quick message to say happy holidays, if possible, to all my fellow vegans out there, and I'll see you in the next one.
Nice. Another good video. What's right isn't always popular. Maybe we should end with this one here. Treblinka. In his thoughts, Herman spoke a eulogy for the mouse who had shared a portion of her life with him and who, because of him, had left this earth. What do they know, all these scholars, all these philosophers, all the leaders of the world, about such as you? They have convinced themselves that man, the worst transgressor of all the species, is the crown of creation. All other creatures were created merely to provide him with food, pelts, to be tormented, exterminated. In relation to them, all people are Nazis. For the animals, it is an eternal Treblinka. Isaac Bashevis Singer from The Letter Writer. Yeah. Y'all see my interview with Lisa Lapel? She's featured in this book. She grew up in Nazi Germany. It's great. We did 2 interviews. Check them out. They're called Hitler's baby is an animal rights activist? Question mark, exclamation, question mark, exclamation. I don't know if I did that because she was like dedicated to Hitler when she was born. Great quote. Here's the last video. Yeah, great book. All right, guys. Well, I think it's been a long stream, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. But make sure you sub to Steven. Steven, that's awesome stuff. Thank you for your heartfelt words, especially the ones that one you made about being proud to be vegan. That was fantastic. So yeah, everybody go sub. Do it. Especially you, Mary. I feel like I have to single you out now to behave, you know, honestly, just to even behave. And y'all, I saw that mutiny. We're not even going to talk about it. We won't talk about it. There you are, Felix. I was wondering where you were earlier because we reacted to so many Cube videos today. And I was like, wait, where's Felix? So good to see you, Felix. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Make sure you sub to the channel. And everybody, just make sure that Mary is behaving herself. I'm just kidding. Mary, you're awesome. And yeah, sub to my channel as well. And hit the like button. And Verdant Jedi, thank you so much for donating to my channel. It really flatters me that you did that. Couple times actually, so it's really, really kind of you. I don't even feel like my channel is worth much monetary value yet, so hopefully at some point it will be, but it's an honor. Thank you, Jedi. You guys have a good night. Good night, Mary. Good night, Felix. If I game later, yeah, I expect y'all there. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, though. I feel like I should probably get some sleep, and y'all probably should too. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. No glitch this entire time. I can just end the stream. Of course, I ruined it, but no glitches. Amazing.